Hello.
Hello, hello. How are we?
All right.
Delightful.
Good. Well, welcome out, everybody. Good to hear. It always feels like we've been away for ages. We have no Mark today. Mark, I believe, is LARPing today, so out in the real fantasy world. But I believe Mark will be back next week. So, well, it's good to see you all. Welcome to episode 6. And shall we play some D&D?
Let's do it.
Anyone got anything they want to shout out, or are we ready to get straight into it?
I just want to play.
Just want to play. Then
I want to know what happened.
So, who would like to do the recap?
It's weird because Mark said he wanted to, but he's not here now. Like,
oh, yeah, there's a big vacuum. Yeah.
How does Juno sound?
It's like
Italian.
Yeah, it's like a subtle kind of almost like.
Last we left off, we informed Troods of what we had learned after getting her before setting off on our other favor for spring. The Scald Stone in the southwest was found deep within a woodland and was guarded by a slug creature known as Dans.
Forgot about that guy.
Solving the... I can't do this.
It was good. Don't doubt yourself.
I did not commit to it. After solving the riddles and discovering the Scald's words, Dans attacked us in a fit of annoyance. We dealt with him quickly and returned home to learn the bounty for Grendel would be announced the next day. Springs told us of an old smuggling cave near the western portion of the gate in the north to give us a head start in our hunt for Grendel.
So, very nice, by the way. That was good. It was good.
Mark, don't watch this.
No, it's good. I think you nailed it. You have just, I believe, just spoken with Spring, just come out of that area. And you're now basically in kind of the open hallways. You've got information about how to get there early. You've learned that the bounty won't be announced until later into the evening today. So you have a full day head start. I believe it was actually the night that you spoke to Spring. So you could rest up and then head out early in the morning.
Yeah.
You had informed Trood as well what was going on. And I'm guessing you all went to sleep. So, morning comes. You can hear the festival is winding down. It's definitely not as busy as it was before, but no one's really leaving. It's just a case of the hangovers are catching up with people, and coin is starting to become spent by any of those who are gambling. It's very much the kind of ends of the festival where people are just kind of using up the remnants of whatever they've bought or the last of their coin. But you'd wake up in the morning in your various rooms, down in the kind of side halls of Herot. What would you like to do?
Are we all in separate rooms? Or did any of us room together?
Good question.
Wilby doesn't room.
Yeah, Wilby doesn't room.
I assume I'm in your room.
Willoughby just stands in the hallway like a topiary. Actually, that would be great.
I believe that, yeah.
I don't know. We'll get up and find some food, I guess.
Yes, food.
Yeah.
Do you think we need to check on Trood before are we just going? Are we going to
Are
check
we
on
just
her?
her babysitter now? We have to check on her every...
Do we have to be best friends with her? Because I don't want to. I'm just throwing it out there. Draven can be best friends with her. If someone has to be best friends with her, he will.
Draven's probably checking on her already right now.
He's checked on her a few times. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he's checking right now. Let's go see. I just put my ear to the door.
Would she have let me stay in her room?
I think she would have sent you out. I think she'd be she would have been like, you're bold, but fuck off. You know, it plays a bit kind of hard to get.
Yep, into it.
Okay.
But she is up
take
early.
the room right next door.
Okay, yeah. Sleep to the sounds of her snoring.
She snores like an angel.
And it's just like...
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You'd hear, when you go and kind of listen into through the door, you can hear the kind of grunts of Throod.
I elbow Eldred right away because I hear grunting.
And soon after you hear thud, thud. And suddenly the door pushes up against you and you push it and she stands there. She's sweaty, wearing kind of just like a sleeveless top. And you can see kind of her muscles and her biceps are kind of rippling as she's clearly been working out. And she looks across the both of you.
Are you okay?
Yes? Is there something you want?
Is
No,
our
maybe-
friend with you?
Which one?
Coming out the room next door.
Never mind.
No. Never, but Willoughby, you don't sleep?
Willoughby, I've just been like standing out in the hall. Oh, man.
I like to think we nodded at Willoughby and then immediately I put my ear on the door, just like, hang on.
I just stand out here. I got nothing else to do.
I'm so sorry.
You don't even want a chair? Like, you just stand?
Do you want a pot?
I don't have muscles to get tired. I just
Oh.
stand.
That seems useful, actually. That is good.
Do you need food? Willoughby points over at Throod.
She looks at you and goes, yes. Breakfast would be nice.
Yeah. He goes to go find some so he can purify it again so they don't get
Yeah.
horribly poisoned.
Yeah, you'd be able to go and get some like ales and some probably like just honks of meat and haunches of meat and like various kind of, if there's any vegetables that have been kind of stewed and boiled, so you can pour them kind of on the side or into like a bowl. There's plenty of food to go around, and a lot of it's actually free. A lot of it's just served out to guests.
Oh, that's good, because if anyone asked if I was going to pay, I was going to be like, this is for food. I'm not paying for Senate.
you
Put it on
notice
our
it's almost
tab.
almost like casino rules where they're trying to kind of treat you well and get you drunk. So you'd get handed across the alcohol and the
Why are
food.
we going to leave? That's great.
Throod kind of rests against the door, looks across all of you. This poison's harder to get rid of than I imagined. My legs keep buckling. But I'll give it a day or two. I'll be back. So,
Good.
hunting the Grendel?
That is the plan.
Ideally, we were going to leave as soon as possible.
She
I'm
takes the
assuming
food
you're
from your
not
hand and
feeling
begins
up
eating.
to helping us.
I don't like to show off what I can do in my weakened state.
Uh-huh.
I could do it. I could kill it right now if I needed to. But I'll let
Inside
you...
check!
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, not wonderful, but 15?
15. You get the element of like, she's not usually one to kind of glance down. So you see her eyes glancing down to the ground occasionally whenever she's talking of kind of pride and her kind of attitude towards it. And she, so you can tell she's not entirely convinced by her own words. She just bites into kind of a haunch of meat and pulls out and just starts chewing, kind of bites back some of the bone. Besides, in all honesty, it is your hunt anyway. And she puts the food to one side. You know, look at you. You're practically trying to get yourself told in a story. Why should I be the one to get in the way of that?
So you're not in a rush to go save Bruda?
Roll a persuasion check.
17.
I'll come. Let me just grab my maul. She steps backwards, grabs it, and you see her stumble against it, and she holds, and then shakily stands again. Not a problem. I'll kill the Grendel by myself.
We will help. I mean, I think we can do it without you if you're not ready yet. But we'd rather get ahead of the people going in for the bounty.
I can do it. I'm not afraid. She kind of steps forward towards you, and you can see her arm is shaking as she drags them all. Fuck.
Glance at the others.
She pushes it back. Utter a word of my weakness, and I'll kill all of you. I'll catch up with the Grendel. I just need a few more hours of rest.
Good idea.
I'll send a message your way when we've found it.
Good. You're not so bad for a keeper of the gods. You know, maybe I should inquire my father about time to keep you. Maybe you can tend to me all time.
I got that's a very kind offer, but I have other duties I have to
Lots
attend
of
to
duties.
with the gods.
Well, maybe I could get those, I don't know, put onto someone else so you don't have to do them. You could be my personal...
You can't see Willoughby's eyes for like,
I
help,
think
get me
that
out of
is,
here. But he's looking at all of you like, get me out of here.
You know, something to maybe think about later. Not right now. It doesn't have to be decided now. We should go and get ready.
Well, very well. Good luck killing the Grendel.
We will be in touch.
Oh, I know. What was your name again?
Eldred.
Eldred. I'd like to see what you're capable of, Eldred.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Perhaps you'll meet up with us there.
Perhaps I will. She kind of grabs her stew and just drinks it back. And you hear this you see the slobber kind of go down her chin as kind of part of the stew water drips down. And you hear the crunching of the vegetables. And she kind of throws the bowl back towards you, Willoughby. And then slams the door and just goes back to resting.
Willoughby, I think she thinks you are like her butler now.
I hate every part of this last
Or
couple days.
she's going to keep you like a cat or something. Like,
Call you Willow Brooder now.
oh shit.
You're the new one.
You're not going to be, we won't let that. I mean, if you would like to stay with her, I won't stand in your way.
No, I'd rather take my chances with the other duties I have than anything with Thor or his...
I would rather stab myself in the
children.
face than, yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Juno,
Are you
could also
good,
catch up.
Draven? Draven, are you good? You keep giving me looks.
I don't know. That was just she loved keeping you around, but I did all this goddamned work and whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Gods and demigods like Christir, we are beings of the world tree.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I get
like
it. I get it,
a
Willoughby.
challenge.
They like the wood. Whatever. Let's just go do what we're gonna do.
Oh, I
I
think
don't think he's good.
I'm not actually jealous. I'm just shocked I put in all this work, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, you can be my sword forever." Blah, blah, blah,
you
blah,
just gotta be appreciated.
blah. Basically. Whatever.
Okay.
Where are we going next?
What do we need to do? Do we want to talk to Derek now? Do we want to check in with him after? Just to go now? Okay, with
The
either one.
Derek thing is such a. Who cares? You know what I mean?
Well, I would like to know who it was. But I'm okay to wait if you want to wait. Otherwise, we walk through there on the way out and we check in with him.
It just feels like. It just feels like at this point, I want to just dial in on what we gotta get taken care of that doesn't involve Derek. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know if everyone else really has a thing about going to see Derek again, but
What happened?
I don't know. It's just
Did he like?
busy.
Did he step on your toes? Did he try to snap a twig from your leg or something?
He just seems a little
very-
bit like a bozo, and I'd rather not see him again. If
Oh, he's definitely a bozo, but
Hey,
I would like
hey.
to know who
You know
he
what?
saw talking.
Willoughby, if you have some secret dislike of Derek that you're not willing to open up to us yet about,
I've been pretty honest with you. Pretty much my whole deal from start to finish.
that's true. Well, are you okay if we see Derek on the way back?
Oh yeah, on the way back, no problem.
I'm definitely going to see him. It's just whether we do it now or later.
I just feel like when we
wait
go
now.
see Derek now, he's gonna be like, "Ooh, I want you to do something for me,"
And then
we're
we
just
will
gonna
tell
get
him no.
distracted.
It's really easy. Watch. No.
Who are you looking at? Don't look at
No.
Eldred. Look at Eldred. What do you?
Eldred, whatever you want me to do, no. I'm not going to do it.
Oh no.
Look,
That
see,
feels
it was
better.
that easy. I just say it like that. It's fine. Also, he's very tiny. He can't bully you into doing something for him. Can he? Willoughby, could he bully you?
You know what? Fuck Derek.
No, I
Fuck
don't
Derek,
really want
that's
to
the
do that
sweet
either.
Derek.
I was going to just
I-
ask him who it was that he saw.
That's what might be what it takes. I don't know. Let's deal with Derek later.
That's
There's
fine.
to be honest, there's also a chance that on our way to Grendel, these names are weird. On our way to Grendel, something's gonna go wrong. Nothing just works when we
Well,
go
now
to a
that you
place.
said it, you've put it out into the
Well,
world, and
well,
something will
think
go
about it
wrong.
like
Sure, everything was going to go great right until you said that.
We only know the way out of Herod. We don't actually know where the Grendel is once we get out there. We have a lot
in
of work cut
defense.
out for us even after.
We'll just follow the trail of the Grendelings and go to the fen.
Yeah.
Make it sound really easy, but
It's not going to be that hard. He's a giant thing with a missing arm. Like, how many places can it hide?
Okay, but I mean, no one.
Well, apparently
Yep.
he was able to
Fine.
sneak up on old
All of
Brood
us.
here in the middle
Yeah, but we
of
were
the night.
inside drinking. That's
Yeah, but
different. It's not
how did
like-
nobody see it outside? How did
Nobody-
nobody
They're
see it
idiots.
outside? Like, hold on.
I think it was a situation of everyone did see it, but everyone's like, "What do we do? I don't have anything to stop it."
Do you think a bunch of people were outside and they just saw it and just looked at each other and then didn't say a word?
If
They were
I wasn't a magical being, I would leave.
You wouldn't
I
have
saw
even
it.
yelled like, "Watch
I
out!"
would leave. Absolutely 100%.
Eldred, what were you going to say?
I thought it burst out of the floor.
The wheat came in through the
No, the
thing,
small
right? And
one.
they
The
came
The
out.
small ones came out from the
Okay.
bottom.
They have those teeth.
Hey, where's that child? That child sees a lot.
That
Maybe-
child is towns away.
Yeah, the child is
Are we
probably
talking
eating
of the same child?
the
yeah,
little
no,
kid with the fruit.
yeah, but like he probably heard something.
Do you want to like hire children to do our investigating?
Gabe has to say no. But Draven raises an eyebrow, realizing that's a possibility.
You can't use children to. Okay, we're not
You
going
absolutely
Like
to.
can.
little
You can.
spies. No, like they're so small.
Not
They can like
going
hide
to
under
use
floor.
children.
They can hide under floorboards
Okay.
like Grendlings, like
Okay,
and stuff. And
we should
I've
not.
learned not
use-
to trust any child.
I
At this
did it.
point, really. Like any one of them could be a spy, or
Yeah.
God in disguise.
see, he gets a what?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what is our plan? Have breakfast, grab breakfast, eat on way to Fen.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Hopefully we find Bruder alive? We find
Yeah.
Bruder dead?
Banking on
We-
dead. But
Dead, preferably.
Evidence.
Dead means I
Prefer
have a
alive
chance.
for information.
Oh, yes, alive.
Okay. That
But
sounds
maybe he
good.
dies on the way back.
But you know
Wouldn't
what,
that be so
Eldred?
sad?
But
I'm
no,
only
Eldred.
joking.
Doesn't he not die because you don't want people to die?
That's what I'm saying. It was a joke. I think
we
he's
can-
a douche.
We
What
can
if
get
he
him.
died and you weren't there? You were too far away.
We can get him close, right? As long as he
Yes?
doesn't die.
What if he
Yeah.
dies while you're asleep?
No, he doesn't have to die. He doesn't have to die. But he
Okay.
can be asleep
I'm
forever.
confused.
Yeah.
Are we killing this guy?
Yeah. And one of the guards just. Sorry, is something the matter?
No
Everything's fine. We're
breakfast.
just
Bye.
hungry.
We're writing a story.
But you see, you can feel his eyes upon the back of you. You guys were just talking about killing people openly in the air. And he's just staring like, and he just
Talking
goes and
about
tells
not
another guard to keep their
killing
eyes.
people.
That's true. I mean, yeah, not killing, but potentially killing people.
Okay, we need to go find the cave, yes?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, food.
Okay.
What takeaway food do you want to grab before you go?
I
Mm,
don't know, something that
some
looks
sort of
nice.
meat, some sort of carb.
Something wrapped in a pastry.
I want the
shell.
lower third half of a pig.
I just need some water.
Water, very accessible. The lower third half of a pig's probably going to cost you about 6 silver. Because you'd have to go to a particular butcher and be like, I want the entire part of that instead of just random
Wait,
portions
which
of the meat.
lower? This part or this part? Like,
I want like the butt and like
If
the
it's
legs.
just the butt,
Yeah.
we'll call it for 2 silver.
oh, just the butt's easy.
The butt and the
Oh,
legs,
yeah,
2
I'll do
silver.
just the butt.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody
sure.
loves.
Yeah,
Just
you
the
see a
butt.
butcher's just like, sure. And he just kind of
Deal.
haunches it onto a plate for you.
Worth
and
it.
then for the others, if you want a pastry, you could buy a pastry. It'd only be a few copper pieces for a small pastry, and then some.
What about
meat
like
and
the
stuff.
Harrod equivalent of like an egg McMuffin?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you could
Sausage
probably
egg McMuffin.
you could probably find something equivalent to that. The sausage would look a little kind of like grilled up, clearly recently wrapped. The muffin side of things is a little bit kind of squashed, but yeah, you can get a fairly close to an egg McMuffin. It's not too complicated for them. It's like a barbecued egg McMuffin, and for your takeaway meal. You'd get your breakfast food to go.
Is that a pig's ass?
Yep. You want some?
I just drink water.
You don't have to.
You know, I'll be right back. I think I left something in the room. I'm going to go check. It's making me nervous if I left something. I'll be back in a minute. I'll catch up with you.
OLG, before you describe what you're doing, Draven distinctly looks to the other two. She's shifty as hell, right? So that's a lot, right?
She's gonna murder someone. Someone
think-
she's gonna come
okay,
back. She's gonna say
cool.
Throod got poisoned again.
Whatever
Some
she's
crap.
up to is a good thing, all right?
All right.
What shady thing are you going to do, Lena?
Trust her.
I go back to the room
Yeah.
and I try to decide if I can take a pillow because they're nice.
Sure.
And I'm
It all
looking
comes
at
back
them
to the fucking pillow.
to try to
thing, dude.
decide if one will fit in my bag. If it will, I will take it.
If you roll it up, yeah. You could also remove some of the feathers inside to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a pillow. And then I'm gonna check around to make sure that I didn't leave anything.
Okay.
Because actually she is very twitchy about that. And satisfied that I haven't left anything,
Mm-hmm.
I will take the coin out of my pocket. And I'm going to... I assume there's like a chair or something in there, so I'm gonna sit down on the chair and just kind of hold the coin. And I'll say... Look, if this is something that you're involved in, if this is your deal, if this is you, you should say something if you don't want us to interfere. this is you, if you are brother, it would be good to know before I find you. I'm just flipping the coin between my hands as I say this.
Or a D100.
As I'm gonna roll, I will also say, these people seem quite nice, and I would not like anything bad to happen to them. 92.
You flick the coin up. As you turn it, you notice both sides go blank for a moment. And then return to normal.
I was going to say, if it wasn't you, it would be fun to see what would happen. I guess it will be fun either way. I'll put the pocket back in my, or the pocket, I'll put the coin back in my pocket, take the pillow in my bag, and leave the room.
Okay.
Come back, eating my pastry.
Whilst you're eating your breakfast and grabbing your things, and whilst you're returning, the others you would see walking closer up to you, wearing similar sense of clothing to you, Draven, but kind of greys instead of the blacks in the armor, and over it kind of furs and various kind of forms of just like any clothing for Midgard to kind of warm up for cold weather. You see a humanoid that looks like a white raven. The feathers are kind of combed gently back in. You can see as they kind of plume around the neck guard, which kind of squeezes down a little bit on the kind of the leather armor it's wearing. It's got a sword on the belt with a kind of a curled, spiraling, almost like coral-shaped hilt. And you see this white raven humanoid step over towards you and say, "Greetings, everyone. I've heard of... Well, my employer has asked me to come and speak with you. He overheard of you in the Hall of Spoken Coin. Heard you've done work for Spring. My name is Lykis."
Yes?
"Yes. Am I to believe that you're mercenaries? Or swords for hire?"
I've never considered that the title, but I suppose technically, given our last couple jobs, sure.
Yeah.
As in you would all work for coin.
Yes. What you got?
Well, my employer, his name is Drohim. He wishes to be escorted through the fen, eastward, towards a small town, port town, just outside of Bravelier. He's looking for some capable folks, and anyone who works at Spring must be trustworthy enough to handle a good job. Spring only works with the finest here. So, he's willing to pay 40 gold per head to escort him that way, once the festival is done. He had his eyes on you. If not, we can seek someone else out.
When do you need an answer by?
Only after the festival ends. Once this Grendel creature is dealt with and the gates are opened up, we pack our things up.
Then it sounds like we'll get back to you when the
Well.
festival ends.
Just wanted to give you the offer early enough before anyone else did.
Smart.
Alright.
Right.
Appreciate it.
I won't disturb you any
This
longer.
is not a no.
Good to hear. I will let him know. He turns and kind of just bows his head towards you. And he stops for a moment, looks over towards you, Draven, and kind of nods towards Juno, but then... Must Gayan as well, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to the better of the two worlds.
Oh shit.
Interesting.
He kind of bows his head towards you and continues walking. Back towards the Hall of the Spoken Coin area.
Were we talking really loud when we were with Spring?
You were out at a public table.
Over here. Ah.
That was weird. The Mesogaia hating Mesogaian is sad. You don't have to love where you're from, but to dismiss it is cruel. Hope they don't die on the way. Well, finish eating my pig.
Okay.
To the cave.
We know the place, so
Okay.
let's get to it.
When I come back, I open my bag and I'm like, Billow.
Hey. I
told
mean,
you
we're
they're
going back to
nice.
that room anyway, probably, right?
They'll put another one in there, all right?
Just
Like then when we
steal
come
that
back.
pillow.
No, I liberated the pillow. It was prisoner and I took it free. Why?
Learning a lot about you. Willoughby walks sort of disappointed away.
Heading out towards the exit of the hall, you'd notice a lot more people who are kind of waiting for the bounty to be announced, are like waiting around today. You see more training happening outside, various people kind of boasting. You'd see groups kind of forming, small kind of bands of people to come together. As you're like walking out, you see one person who's a little smaller than the rest, looks quite skinny and on his own. He's like, "Anybody want to fight the Grendel? Anybody want to fight the Grendel? I'm putting together the strongest party there is. We're guaranteed to kill. You want to fight the Grendel?
No, that sounds really scary.
Oh,
Too
Don't
scary.
like fighting.
okay."
It's going to kill everyone.
No, not when Brigus has got to it. You want
Are
to
you
fight the Grendel?
Brigus?
Yes.
Oh. You look tough. What have you fought before?
Hunted deer. And one time when I was fishing, I caught something so big it pulled me in, and I managed to get back out without drowning. But I've trained with the sword. He takes it out and he kind of swings it once, and then like it's just really awkward swings. He doesn't really know the way. Kind of puts this sword back in, but misses the sheath a few times.
So, Brigus, you're a hunter.
Yes.
Can I give you a hint from one hunter to another?
Yes.
And I lean in. Use what you're good at. Don't look for the people that are the toughest. Find people who know how to hunt something quietly, quickly. And when they hunt the creature, it struggles and does the work for them. You don't have to kill it with mighty blows. You just have to do enough blows to make it fall. And if it can't move, it can't fight back, Brigus. So this hall, where you're looking for fighters, you might be looking in the wrong place.
He kind of squints his eyes and looks at you and goes, "So you want to join?"
I don't think I'd be a good hunter, Brigus. But I can't wait to hear about your victory.
But you said hunter to hunter.
Yes, but I'm a hunter of man, not beast.
I'm gonna go check a different hall. Just kind of awkwardly steps back and walks away.
Is there a hall of like game hunters?
Not specifically, but you would definitely find people that bring it into like a certain hall where the butchers are, kind of all the meats. You would see several hunters go into there.
I would recommend Brigus go ask the butchers on who has brought in the most dangerous seeming game.
Okay. Yeah. And he goes, okay, hunter of man. And he kind of rushes off to go and find the butchers.
Why are you encouraging that guy to get himself killed?
I'm encouraging him to go with people who know how to hunt a beast, not just how to fight one.
That Grendel was 30, 40 feet tall. He's gonna get ripped in half.
No, I
He was
will.
out
I
there.
expect
Did you
us.
see- didn't even know
I
how to
expect
swing
us to
his
kill
sword.
it before he gets to it. But I hope he has a lesson that he sticks with. It's not about the strongest looking people. It's about the
True.
ones who know how to get the job done. He's over here looking in this hall, and I look around the hall. They look strong. It means nothing when they lose their head.
True.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't want to see him die. Not before his time.
We're doing them all a favor by leaving early. Because everyone I've
Yes.
seen so far putting together a group for this is not prepared at all.
Ooh. Nah, that's rude. Never mind. I was gonna start
Now you
spreading
have to say
fake. I was gonna start spreading fake rumors about the Grendels, so people had misinformation.
I mean, you can.
I think I think I might because it's funny. Draven mentions that the Grendel can smell. The Grendel has such an intense sense of smell that unless you cover yourself in something pungent, it'll know you're coming.
Nice.
Roll a deception check. This would be a general,
Please.
just like spreading rumors deception check.
Please.
19.
The only people it doesn't really work on, you notice, is there's a couple of definitely a few tougher fighters who are less they're clearly not stood up trying to find others or drinking. They are focused and they're just kind of sat there, kind of brooding. And you recognize it doesn't really work on them, but others, you start to spread across all these small groups that are excited, people that are treating this like it's an event of the festival. One of them immediately kind of walks off, and whilst you're spreading the rumor, you see them come back with a small basket filled with horse shit. And you can see him just handing it out to their group.
Oh,
And some of them just
no.
Okay, well, wipe it on you when we start to leave, alright? Don't need to do it yet. We need the smell to be fresh.
So what lesson does this teach them?
Humility.
We'll smell them coming.
Oh. I love this place.
But the entrance outside, once you get past the kind of people gathering and discussing, and some already talking about how they fought the Grendel before, and a lot of just lies and kind of behavior that clearly treats it more like it's a jovial hero maker rather than a very dangerous task. Once you pass all of that, you start heading back down into the quiet village surrounding it. They talk down in the village. People are excited by the hunt of the Grendel. They are ecstatic at the idea that they might finally be gone. It gives them a little bit of hope as you kind of see them gathering and listening to groups. But once you pass through the village, you can see the quiet, beautiful landscape heading north. Wandering north, you'd be passing by farmland. And Hera is uniquely beautiful in the sense that even the crop fields that are so uniform in their almost like corn growing. The actual crops they grow are always quite colorful. It looks more like they're grown flowers and fields of just beautiful, vibrant foliage. But the reality is it's all food, it's all edible. It's a gift from the gods. So the journey northward back towards the gate, now heading outward, is similar to when you first came in. It is this beautiful just landscape of a paradise. But the road heading north is near enough empty. I think you wouldn't even see anyone for the first couple of hours of walking. It is... No one is heading this way. The only people you might see heading back is a couple of guards heading southward, who occasionally on the road would say to you, you know the gate is closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Meeting someone up there.
All right. They carry on walking past, but for the most part, you're undisturbed. The Great Gate comes into sight after a few hours of walking, and you see it's massive. It's adjacent to. It's built almost like a dam, and it wraps from one end of Heret all the way to the other, against a mountainside. It's kind of embedded into it. It looks almost like it's just a portion of it, built of the same stone that the actual mountain's made of, mixed in with metals and woods to kind of reinforce. On top of the wall, similar to like the Black Gate, you see a series of just various people wandering high up in the sky, walking the ramparts of the actual wall itself, which is treated as a gate wall. Observing off the other side, observing off this side. A few soldiers waiting at the gate entrance. You would notice your road would split off until there is no road, until there's just woodlands and empty fields, and the mountains to the west side remain undisturbed. Is there anything you want to do before you head to the cave?
As we're sort of making our way over here, I want to, as Willoughby, start sort of drawing a general map and path here that I can give to Throod.
Okay. Yeah.
That's smart.
I think we just
Yep.
I think we just definitely want to stay along the west side earlier rather than getting all the way up there and then
Yeah.
going that way.
Yeah.
Try and remain undisturbed.
Or east side.
No, we're west side. You were right the first time.
I say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can
We just
break
go
off early
totally the
enough.
wrong way. There's nothing there.
You notice, like, as you kind of curl off on the west side now and go off early, you enter into the spacious, sparse woodlands. It is kind of late summer, so you can see that the trees are still blooming and very few leaves on the ground, but tall grass that's unkept. As you pass that way and close in on the mountain, can I get a survival check from everyone just to see the speed in which you might come across the hidden cave?
18.
18.
20.
Oh my god, monster.
Okay. 20 will be enough.
17.
4.
Lena, it's not your best guidance. You're kind of following everyone else. And maybe occasionally you're just looking out for make sure you're not getting any ticks on you. And more worried about that than you are about the actual direction. But with the 20, the 19, the 17, it takes you only a course of about 15 minutes once you've kind of broken off the path, where you're just kind of noticing as you close in on the mountainsides that one portion of it seems to be behind dense forestry, and you would notice a gap probably about 5 feet wide, 11 feet tall, like a slither in the side of the mountains, which are mostly just kind of rocky based, and it would take you a while to climb up before you see any other opening. You'd notice various kind of pieces of broken foliage and kind of branches have been propped up against it to almost blend it into the mountain itself. But with your keen senses of survival, you managed to find the entrance to the cave pretty fast.
Not me. I'm looking for ticks.
You don't find any.
I don't like ticks. They're gross. Sorry. Are we there?
Full
What
of
is going on?
disease, too.
Exactly. I don't want to get sick. They're gross. Blech.
I think this is what we're looking for.
Oh, shit.
Looks
Okay.
like it.
Okay.
Look. Is there any tracks or anything outside it?
Go ahead and do an investigation check.
Yeah, can we check for like a trap or
I'd also
anything?
let you do perception. Perception would probably tell you if you notice anything off. Investigation will give you some more specifics.
I'll take a dirty 20 investigation.
Okay. You would look around and you notice that no one has been through here in a fairly long while. It seems to be kind of mostly abandoned. You would see that where people have kind of planted down a lot of kind of just layers of twigs, almost to hide any footsteps they might have leading out to try and avoid the direction they might go. But it's been long enough now that soil has kind of overtaken them, or pieces have been broken off or just kind of withered down. It's from a dirty 20, I would say that you can pretty much guesstimate that no one's been here at least a couple of months, if not longer. And especially since some of the foliage has kind of fallen down and some of it's just kind of withered away. So you are the first to come through here.
Oh, no obvious monster tracks, which is comforting. I think just the smugglers of old.
Incredible.
Hmm. Okay.
Shall we?
Just go
Shall
into the tunnel.
Let's do it.
I'll head in.
Okay.
We follow.
Taking the way inside.
I'll light my torch
Okay, yeah.
with a magical light. It looks like normal fire, but it's not.
But it's not. It's better.
The ember light of the torch kind of gleams across the walls. You see the orange open up, and you see that this side of the cave is fairly small. It seems to almost be once you go inside, you'll see as loads of small pathways which become way too thin for anyone to kind of squeeze through. Start opening up around the sides. A boulder lies against the wall over to your left. But this portion of the cave seems to be mostly just kind of almost like it's been hacked into, but doesn't seem to go very deep. You illuminate pretty much the entirety of the cave once you go about 6 feet inside. There's no real way to squeeze through these gaps.
Well, there's that boulder. I look at Draven.
Sure. You want me to move the boulder? Anything for you.
You look the most
Go
capable
on.
of
It's
this
about
sort of thing.
3.5 foot tall, kind of a hardened brick, and it's propped up against the wall. So it's heavy, but it's not like massive. It's not like it's a giant boulder.
I'll try to help, but I'm pretty useless.
I got wood for muscles now. I just,
Wood can be pretty strong.
no. Come on. And Willoughby's gonna keep like marking down the map.
Okay,
All right. Let's move this boulder.
Go ahead and do an athletics check.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, bet. Do I have advantage from
Yeah.
Eldritch helping me, or is
Eldritch
that
helping you, that's an advantage.
way better? 23.
23. You're kind of propped up with Eldritch's help as well. You push your foot into it, but you just push it with your shoulders weight. Feel your feet giving grasp, and you feel the momentum helps you push forward. And you push it open enough that you see a crawl space. Wide enough, probably a couple. It's probably about 2 feet high off the ground, but wide enough for you to all crawl through. It looks to be kind of fairly hidden, but you can see the actual crawl space itself doesn't look natural. It looks like it's been carved out. So it's almost this perfect rectangular shape. Doesn't look like it's gonna be a comfortable squeeze, but it is one that is clearly designed this way.
That was fun.
And now
Pretty
we
good.
crawl.
Eldred,
Let's go.
I helped a lot.
more than you think.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Can you go?
God, I'm thirsty.
Who's going in which order?
I mean, I'll lead with the torch, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's behind Eldred?
I don't know.
I'll be behind Eldred.
As you're crawling through, shifting, it's small motions. It's wide enough that you can kind of move your shoulders, you can kind of get some motion going, but not tall enough that you can kind of lift your head for more than just a foot off the ground before you would bash it. And you're crawling through. And it seems to go on for quite a while. About 10 minutes of crawling like that before you start seeing in the distance. Another few minutes of crawling will get you there. But the end of this tunnel, you see light gleaming against the end. Another portion of the cave you're crawling towards. But there is some sort of what seems to be firelight.
A safe fire, maybe.
Like someone's camping out?
I guess.
You'd also
It's
see
not
this,
possible.
Draven.
It's not possible to climb over anybody, would it be?
You probably could. It won't be very comfortable, and you'll probably scrape your back a little bit. But if you're careful, I'll go ahead and we'll do a. I would give it a dexterity or acrobatics if it's better.
Okay.
As just a kind of means of just shifting your body and doing it very carefully.
Eldred, if you are fine with it, I'd actually like to go ahead of you. I can see just fine in this dark.
Oh, all
Are you
right.
going to
I'm very
going to
thin,
sneak?
so I just flatten on the ground.
Draven?
Yeah, yes.
Are you going to try to sneak? What are you going to try to do?
Yes, sneaking.
You
That would-
sneaking?
Come here, hang on a second.
Okay.
And I'll put my hand on Draven. And I will cast Blessing of the Trickster.
Okay. Remind me, does that give him advantage?
Advantage on stealth checks.
I was going to also cast Pass Without Trace on the group.
All of that is a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, that would give
If
you
we're moving as a group.
very big numbers.
So,
Yeah.
do that.
All right. Pass
Awesome.
without trace. And an advantage. Draven, you pull ahead. Go ahead and roll your stealth check with advantage and add a 10.
Okay.
Should we all roll stealth even though we're further behind?
Yes, because pass without trace, is it everyone within 30?
It's
feet?
everyone. Yeah, 30 feet of me.
Okay.
Plus 10 to stealth checks.
That's a 26 for stealth.
Mine's a 20.
If you are following, by the way, you will have an ember light on, so like it probably will give away a little bit of your glow. Just a warning.
Does Willoughby have a natural glow to him?
I
From being
I would say you could dim it.
Okay.
It's something you can kind of like. It's almost a little bit like slowing your breath. You could dim your light. It's almost like a feeling. Like that.
Since it's just ahead, technically, like Eldred, if she does put out her torch, she can see where she is going because of the light in the distance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
If
gonna
we can do
dim
that.
the torch once I see that we're trying to be stealthy, and I
Cool.
rolled
Sure.
23.
Okay. Was that one else roll for stealth?
Only a 14.
24.
Well, I assume
With the
Juno.
plus
Oh,
10?
sorry, 24. I forgot.
24. And what did you get? What it be?
28.
28. You are all quietly crawling through. And Draven, you take up the front. You slowly start crawling towards the entrance, and as you dim the light behind Eldred, you see the flicker of the campfire. Draven, roll a perception check for me for hearing.
Deal. Hell yeah. Ooh, that's pretty good. It's 19.
You hear a voice of someone kind of crouched over. Make sure to boil it longer. Can't trust those waters anymore. Boil it until it's practically half left. I know what I'm doing. As you're crawling through, and you slowly kind of slip out of the hole. Over to your left. What's your dark vision?
I'll tell you right now.
60 or 120. I'm not too sure what Dampier is right now.
60.
60. You see a group with tents set up inside towards the back of the cave. Some just kind of bedrolls, one actual tent. And a campfire that's kind of slowly glimmering down, but they're putting more wood onto it. With a pot boiling over the top of it. About 8 people in total. A couple of them are sat back down on the bedrolls. Next to one another. 4 of them around the actual campfire, and a couple more sat inside the tent. You can kind of just see their shadows inside the tent. They're sat stirring some food on top. They have no idea you're there.
Are there any rock formations or anything to hide behind in this cave area?
Yeah, this is more of an open cave than the last one you're in, so it kind of goes a little bit deeper, and you can see it's wider. The mouth of it over towards the right, which leads out into the fen, is much bigger. It's like a bear's cave. You'd see various kind of fallen rocks in here, which you could kind of slip behind as well, yeah. Maybe
Okay, so
you could hide 1 or 2 people.
Draven is going to wait at the exit so that he can grab Eldred's hand and or anyone else and guide them through the dark, just because he can see anything that would be on the ground to trip someone up.
Mhm.
And just make sure everyone gets out and has a spot to hide behind.
Okay.
That he can see.
Okay.
There's there. Can Willoughby see in the dark?
Not currently.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so Draven will kind of just try to guide each of his companions when they get up to the mouth of the cave, get them somewhere that is safely out of sight, but using his dark vision to navigate along the ground.
Yeah. Luckily, you can see the kind of dimming light around the people. Once you kind of get out, Draven can help guide you to not knocking any rocks or any kind of rubble on the ground, but the dim light kind of illuminates the people sat around. If you'd like to do a perception check, you can on site to kind of glean what these people are. Insight check.
I want to know.
I definitely will. Can't activate my
You're a bit focused on helping the others,
16
Draven, with that
insight.
Yep,
one.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
That one.
25.
Oh my god.
With the 25 and 16 on insight. With your 16 on insight, you see a couple of the people look a little bit pale. And are staring at the water that's cooking and boiling. With your 25 perception, Willoughby, your eyes start dying around. Your detective skills start kicking in. You recognize... You see a few pitchforks. And you see fishing rods. The pitchforks are kind of more like almost fishing pole ones. So closer to a trident. You notice various nets. One of them has a fishing rod near them that they've clearly broken off and sharpened the end. These are fisher folk.
They're just normal fish people, like people that just fish.
People that fish. They're not... Yeah, fish... fish, comma, people.
Fisher folk, not fish folk.
Yeah.
Yeah, God.
I think these are just normal fishermen camping.
Why are they pale?
I don't.
You can't just ask that.
Is it just because they're in a cave? Do you think they live in here? They just stay out of the sun all the time?
Could probably just go around them.
Did we all hear what they said, or was that only Draven, Joe?
It'd be Draven at the front.
I would pass it on.
Okay.
What do they mean they don't trust the water, though? You're going to fish in the water that you don't trust? Are they stuck in here? Do they not know the way out?
Possible the water's been poisoned.
Profik. You see one of the ones come out the tent and stand up. It's a middle-aged man. He's got he's balding with just a little bit of kind of hair on the side still, brown hair. Wispy kind of beard that's graying heavier than the brown. It's now overtaking it. Wearing kind of ragged clothing. Tired, deep eyes. Yes? It's your turn to cook. I don't want to. It's your turn. You see him kind of sit down. Lift the spoon. Stir the water and take over. And then he starts just kind of grab it. And you can see they grab like these little frogs. Or any kind of these small like rodents. And just start peeling them. And then any meat they get, they just drop into the water. How long are we going to go through this? I don't... He'll be dead by dusk. They'll open the gate soon. See one clasp another one's shoulder.
They've been locked out.
Do they look like sick, like starving? Like
Roll an insight check.
Also, them saying they'll open the gate soon mean they don't know about that
Okay.
entrance.
This one's only a 5. I can't.
Yeah,
tell.
it was sealed.
Yeah.
5's hard to say. It's dim light.
Do we, if they're locked out of the gate, do we just tell them about the opening we made and move on?
We could tell them it's opening soon.
Do you want to just pop out of the shadows at them? Hello, we heard you. The gate's going to be open. Don't worry.
We could
Fine.
sneak around towards where it leads into this section.
And then come back. We could just tell them about this. No one ever told us to keep this a secret.
There's
There's a problem. There's one.
If we tell them about it, it might get sealed.
If we tell them about it, they might go out that way, tell everyone else, and then our head start isn't much of a head start.
That's true. Well, we can go say, hey, fellows, it seems like you're stuck in a cave. We're stuck back here too. Are going to go out. Do you want to come out with us?
We can call ourselves a gift from the gods. They'll believe that shit.
Do a little jazzy hand.
But
Okay.
I'll
Probably
follow
just sneak
your
by them and
lead.
leave them a note.
Dear folks at the
Just for
campfire,
Cave people.
I hope you're okay.
Just so you know,
You see as the
in a
one.
day the gate will open.
You see the one who's
Also,
cooking
that
goes,
water looks gross.
"Take over. I'm going for a piss." And begins walking your way.
crap.
This
What do we
one
do?
pisses on me.
I don't know. Do we?
What do we do?
What plan do we go with?
I don't know. Fuck it. Are we just deciding? I'm gonna decide right now.
I think we just stand up.
I'm gonna decide. All right, Draven stands up. Hello.
You see,
No,
gonna
it's
grab.
fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
Could
It's
pulls
okay.
out his
It's
little
okay.
knife.
No. It's
Calm
fine.
down.
There's no need to pull a weapon on emissaries of the gods who have brought you good news. As we have appeared out of the darkness
Gestures at the dark back of the cave.
to
Roll it.
tell you God,
No. Okay, finish your sentence. Yeah.
that the gates will be opening soon, as a massive hunt for the horrifying Grendeling shall soon begin, and all of this land should know the gods have asked it to be so.
I'll thaumaturgy orange fireworks.
All the others get up as well, and they start standing up. Gonna grab their weapons. Go ahead and roll a deception check with advantage.
Hell yeah.
My face is not very convincing. I just
Yeah,
For all
but- yeah.
Willoughby's just standing with their hands crossed. Like, let it
19.
play out.
You see him kind of lower down his knife. You're not here to take our food?
Never. You have been stuck here because... Wait. The gods told me the gates have been shut and you've been stuck here
Yes.
for days now.
Days.
Are you eating... You've been stuck to eating frog.
Frog.
And rats.
Small. They're like rats, but they don't have any hair.
You're even... You feel compelled to boil the water.
Yes.
They have told me of your plight.
The gates are opening soon. That's good to
The
hear.
gates. Prepare yourself. Head toward the gates. And what? In a day's time, you should see entrance to your home once more.
Not our home. But safety at least. People out here tell the gods they should be punished. Many people have gone mad with it. Think that we'll never get inside, so they started killing yesterday. Stealing from others. People have been refugees.
Atrocious.
That is very sad.
I lost
His penis isn't out, right?
No.
He's not listening right now.
He hasn't,
I didn't-
He's actually
he hasn't
been
started,
peeing
no,
this
he
whole
hasn't
time.
started. He was
You
walking
get
towards to head
go
outside.
still.
I put my hand on his shoulder. Where are you from?
So
He's just thinking about going to the bathroom all the time. This poor guy.
This poor guy would have had his penis out holding it whilst the people said, I'm the emissary from the gods. He's just like, sorry. You see he looks across to you and just goes, Oron, it's a village in the fen.
What's it called?
Oron. It's Oaroln. Me and my brother, my wife's brother, we escaped only a day ago. The creature known as Grendel attacked it. There was a funeral just a few days ago, and after any good funeral, we have a wedding. It was my wife's, and everyone was celebrating for the wedding, but me and my brother couldn't. We were two of the three that didn't bother going, and I lowers it down. Someone in the back goes, "No one wants to hear your story again, Profuck."
No, we do. That's okay. Keep going.
Me and my brother didn't attend the wedding. We didn't really feel like celebrating after losing her. And that gave us a head start. We had cheering and people full of joy. Then we heard killing, screaming. We looked outside. The Grendel. It tore things apart. People thrown and eaten. In their most joyous moments, just killed there and then. We left so quickly, I left my wife's pendant. It's under the floorboard. We kept it hidden. Oh, we've been talking about getting it back, but he tore through it, and we saw these creatures on the end of outside of the village. They were red, monstrous little things, and they just waited. We ran. Once Grendel went through everyone, and he went through them quickly. They came in to pick off some of the else. We just ran. We saw.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's the thing, though. This is the part where no one believes me.
What?
He caught us,
The Grendel caught you?
and he stared down at us, blood dripping from his jaw. We stood there in despair, and he just walked on, headed back to finish off the meals. He didn't kill us. That is why no one wants to hear your bullshit. Goes back to everyone knows that Grendel wouldn't leave anyone. It's not true.
I don't.
No, what do you mean not true?
He left Elliot and I. He didn't attack us. He stood before us and
How big was it?
huge. Many arms. Some not even human, like a jaw, massive. One massive, bold and swollen arm, another smaller one. Almost like it's a sprout growing. No flesh.
Would you say the Grendel stopped as if something called to it? Or it stopped because something about you made you unappetizing?
I don't know I don't want to pretend I know the motives of monster, but something about us it didn't want. It smelt us. Listened to us. Like it could hear our heart beating.
You were not feeling the same joy as those people at the wedding.
Of course not. We'd lost our love.
Do you think the Grendel feeds off of those feeling joy?
Interesting.
Right?
It'll never touch Willoughby.
What was your name again?
Cold.
I'm prolific.
How do you spell that?
Prolfic.
Your brother-in-law?
He's in the back, over in the... Elliot! Hasn't said a word in 6 days. Not since we lost her.
Prolific. You said you left your wife's pendant in your home?
Kept it under the floorboards. We were going to sell it one day.
Would it be easy for us to find your home if we went through there to get it for you?
There's only about 30 people that lived in Orlon. There's only a dozen or so houses.
We might as well go there anyways. Best chance we have of actually finding where the Grendel went.
If we go there, we will look for this pendant for you, yes?
How will we know you're home?
Once you go in, there is marshland that grows into our home. Where you'll see the small bridge over the stream. It is the one just across that bridge.
Can you describe the item for me as clearly as you can?
Yes. It is a small necklace. And on the end, a star. If you unclasp it, you see just embedded inside is a pearl. All the way from the sea. A blue pearl. And when you clasp it over, it glows a soft blue. My
If
wife-
we find it,
Yes?
I'll have it sent to you. We won't return back this way. Not anytime soon.
The gods have truly blessed us. To have shown us you. Glory to the All-Father. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I look at Eldred, kind of like, sorry. All right, go pee.
Can I just do? I don't think it's gonna go well, but can I just do a regular insight check on him just to kind of see that he's like hasn't left anything out, that like he's not, you know what I mean? Just sort of like how.
Oh, okay,
He's
yeah,
being
yeah. See if he's-
shady,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
sure. Insight check, yeah.
17.
I mean, you don't have a. It's not a very high DC to beat because you can see this person is wearing their sadness, their misery on their face. They look as if they've lost a part of themselves. It's almost like he told the story, not necessarily just in like a way someone might tell rumors or a tale, but in a way that was reminiscent of someone trying to almost understand their own truth. And he's clearly pretty devastated.
I put my hand on his forearm. I know what it is like to lose someone, and I'm very sorry that you had to go through that.
What is worse is I knew I would live after her. Those people in the village, they were celebrating new life, new love. Now they're all gone. So fast. There's nothing anyone can do about it.
Human lives are far too fragile.
Yeah.
Then, hopefully you of the gods can find some justice in this.
We can stop the Grendel from doing it again.
Blessed be to you. Blessed be to you. And he kind of wanders past you. And then walks back towards the campfire, completely forgetting about his human needs because he's just caught up in the moment. And just sits down and continues taking over from their cooking.
Let's go.
Heading out of the cave, you all journeyed towards the through the fen to get to Herod. Whether you came from the east, the west, or kind of the quickest routes through. But the fen itself goes on for probably a good 100 miles if you were to take its entirety of its radius. And it's a massive swamp. Covers a massive portion of the southern lands. And actually, to call it a swamp would be unfair. To call it marshes is more fitting. Marshland that is luscious and beautiful, with trees that grow tall, almost like Everglades, with their roots separated and drinking deep of the waters. Water so clear that you can see the bottom-feeding fish picking off the small fry at the bottom, or any of the remnants of food that might be across the pebbled path on the bottom of the rivers. The grass grows tall with different flowers just celebrated across it. The path clear and carefully trodden on by travelers. When you would go through And waking up in the mornings as you travel down towards Herrick, you would have heard the birds chirping in the morning. Creatures bounding through. This is a beautiful marshland. But stepping out, you don't see that beautiful marshland. You see trees with more gaunt roots that are almost desperately trying to pull over the others. Trees fighting for any clear water they can. Algae and other just deep murkiness to the water now gathering on top to a point where you can't even see an inch into it. It looks almost like a reflection of a green window. The grass now, almost like a graying beard, has started to go dying at the tips, all across. Portions of it just faded into dirt. In just a few days since you last saw, less than a week ago, when you first traveled through the fen, this has truly become a swamp, a bog. There's a stench to it as well. It just merges into the air. A stale stench. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's the smell of something rotten. The fen no longer resembles its beauty in this portion. In the distance you can see the trees are luscious and green, but like an infection, it's growing and festering. You step out and you hear the squelching of your feet as you enter into the new fen.
Oh, this was
Different.
this wasn't exactly pleasant to begin with, and now
Yes. I suppose we should look for that village first and foremost. Were we given
Alright.
direct directions, Joe?
I'll
There?
say you did. You didn't actually ask during the conversation, but let's just say that if you went back, he would have said to you.
Okay.
It's a little west, northwest. You carry on across the pathways and through a couple of the wooden glades, you'll get to it. It's a trodden
Can
on
we
path.
can we safely assume the water and like the water runoff from the fen is the same water they were drinking from the cave, or would it be different sources?
Yeah, you can see some of them they've got like kind of almost like rags set up against the walls to try and
Yeah.
soak up any condensation that there might be in the caves, which they were clearly like tipping in there. You can see that they've been trying to get pockets of puddles or anywhere that rain might have fallen down to kind of pour water into there, avoiding the marshland water.
Okay, so that's the water that they were, which makes sense that it is now like dilapidated and
Yes.
sent to a sense of ruin.
It goes without saying, no one drink any of this.
no.
No, sadly.
Head to Oren.
Aye.
The pathways through. As you kind of step out of the cave as well, you'd notice off to the eastern side, closer to the gate, pockets of campfire light, tents that have been set up all across the gate. Refugees caught outside before the gate closed. Or after the gate closed, sorry. Separated. They're not clumped together. It's small pockets, and you see them kind of almost like watch lights all the way down the gates. Almost like separate communities. But your journey is northwest. Walking onto the kind of boggy pathway, you notice where the road was once clear and almost sanded at portions so that it could get some stability for anyone, like almost like gravel, for anyone who passes through here on horseback. Portions of the water have kind of risen up and drenched the roadside. It now feels a bit kind of squelchy and softer, like it's kind of folding into the water itself. It's not a comfortable walk northwest. And the smell constantly breathes in the air. Yeah.
I'd like to dip a finger into the water and gauge what temperature it is.
Okay. It is like not warm per se,
Yeah.
but ever so slightly like tepid from the amount of just kind of life that is swarming to the surface on it, and just this body heat from all of these creatures anything that's warm-blooded that was in there before is kind of like almost, in a magical sense, has warmed the water very slightly. Not enough to call it warm, though.
Yeah. So Draven passes that along, and there's a minor bit of concern just because unless something usually natural is heating up the water and making it bubble or something, like it's a heated marshland with caves or steam, the fact that it's not cold makes its change much more concerning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not piping hot yet, as far as you can tell.
Weird.
It's weird. Okay, well, guess we just keep our eyes open, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Should be prepared for any stragglers of Grendlings at the village as it is as we get closer.
You carry on wandering your way through. A couple of hours probably pass, maybe an hour and a half. The road is absolutely clear. And you notice, unlike when you first came through it, there's not as many sounds of life in the air.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a very slight fog, not enough to kind of disperse your vision, but enough that even though it's early, only maybe 10 a.m., walking through here feels like it's just before dusk. Like it's cloudy weather because the trees above you kind of block out any sunlight. Almost in a natural way. It's very grey. And you carry on wandering, following the brief directions, but knowing that there's not really many ways you can stray off the path.
Do we see any signs of anything coming through that's not just like people on the path, right? Like, does it look like there was any like fighting, like any gremlins coming? You know what I mean? Like that kind of disruption.
Go ahead and roll a survival check just to track anything that
No,
might...
I'm very terrible at those.
Well,
I mean, I will, but I'm very terrible at them.
we'll
I
see how it
believe in
comes
you.
out. Yeah.
14.
14's not bad. Especially in a marshland like this, it is pretty easy to track people here. Once you get closer, you'd notice that coming out of the water, you'd see these various kind of pockets of footprints and stocky feet where puddles have started to form in each of the footsteps. Have kind of embedded into the actual marshy grassland. Closer to the town itself, or the village, sorry. But as you do grow closer, you notice that you start seeing in the distance, just piercing through the kind of small trees and the thinnest trees, thatch and wood buildings. Thatch roofs with kind of reinforcements of wood. Almost like a grain thatch on each of the buildings. And you notice as the pathway goes into the small village, there's probably a good dozen or so houses that go through there. And it doesn't seem to be, it's not walled off. It's like everything's kind of built into the swamp itself and is designed to just kind of, it is people that have found a small clearing as best they could and built upon it. So it's nothing in terms of like, it's not beautiful architecture. It is just people's homes. As you close in, I'm going to have to ask what pace you're going at. Are you wanting to do a slow, stealthy
I would
pace?
slow down.
I would
Shot
definitely
there.
be cautious slow.
Yeah.
Okay. Then go ahead and give me a stealth check across the board, everybody. Juno's will just
hours,
be
right?
the average. Sorry? Yeah.
It's been hours?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So no pass without.
The bones of my armor are quite clanky, so 11.
14. I feel that in my soul.
I would have quietly cast Blessing of the Trickster on my
I'm assuming it's been over an hour since Pass Without
It's been an
Trace, so-
hour.
Yeah.
Is Black Sun Tricks only
Also,
one person?
it's fair to say that Willoughby wouldn't have been holding concentration.
Oh my god. Let's go.
What did you roll?
Dirty 20 for me.
Nice.
Which one with advantage?
Is Black Sun of the Tricks only one person?
It is a willing creature. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. It's other than myself, so I can't do it to me. So I would still have a dirty 20 because that's what I rolled. And I would probably look at Eldred and Draven because they have, right? You guys both have armor?
Like, you can have it on
I
one
can help.
person at all times. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can help. I can help one
Do
of you.
Eldred. I'll do Eldred. Draven is. Draven doesn't expect to be stealthy. The fact that it worked before was a miracle.
Let's see if we can maybe make it a little quieter, yes?
Thank you. Yes. So you definitely dampen the sound of the bones clattering together, and that's an 18.
Hey!
So
Way
who's
better.
got low? Is anyone under 15?
I have the lowest, I think. I rolled a 14.
Okay. It's not terrible.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
You wander up, and you're on the edge of the kind of village area. And you'd hear a fluttering. And then a series of as these almost like creatures in the air. You see two land down. Your eyes start kind of scanning across this village as you're low over towards the roadside. And you see these bat-like wings, maybe a few feet in diameter, with almost like furrier heads, but almost like insect fur, like that kind of buzz that goes around it. This first stops as soon as it gets to the neckline. You see this bat-like skin body. And the front of the mouths, you would look across and you would notice that they have got long, mosquito-like, I wouldn't really know the term for it, but it's their kind of drinking utensil, essentially. Their mouths are long. 3 of them are leaning over what looks almost like a crab-like creature, like a quite a large crab, and they've embedded into the flesh, and they are engorging on the blood. You see their heads go. Yep.
Joe, this isn't related to a tweet that I made like a month or two ago, right?
I don't think so. Maybe subconsciously.
Good. Hope not. Hope
Okay.
not. Continue.
Okay. And you see, and another one kind of almost argues with another one to scare it off. Pools of blood are kind of almost drying on the ground. You see it kind of almost like cleaning. The creature just starts drinking from any driplets it can get from the tops of grasses and stepped on marshland. You notice there's loads of footprints and puddles here, but not a single body lies there. Can everyone roll a perception check?
Draven is.
I perceive with a nat 20.
Hey!
15. He sees blood.
18.
He's distracted.
see the blood?
5.
You see the
I'm a
creatures.
roller coaster today.
Willoughby, your eyes scan, as you'd usually do, checking for all scenarios. First, you'd notice that there is something dotted across the ground. Some of them are actually leaning down, drinking from them. One of them is kind of picking at something like a twig on the floor. Starts lifting it. You notice that's no twig. That's a finger. And then you notice across the grounds, all across this village, dozens of fingers. Some have kind of piled up and been chewed on. But
I
fingers are
know
just
how
left.
Draven likes his drinks.
Really duped.
And you see one of these creatures turn. Starts looking around to see if it can notice anyone.
We're not related. Don't ask that question.
And its
I know.
eyes look straight towards you, Draven. It lets out a little. And it takes into the air. And you are all watching as this thing flies up. But then, you notice the others start kind of leaving the body, seeing the new flesh that's just entered into their village so willingly. But Willoughby, your eyes are not on the flying creature. You know this. This is obvious. That's in your peripherals. Because you see something else. In the center of the village, you see a pair of eyes rise from the water. A greenish head, almost like piercing through the water like a bubble about to burst. These great yellow eyes peer up. Or suddenly, a red tongue shoots out, grabs one of the creatures from the air, and pulls it in. And this massive mouth of a giant toad begins crunching down. And I'm going to head and get everyone to please roll initiative.
Are we getting third-partied right now? I don't. By a toad?
Let me put you onto the map. to
Toads
begin
eat
with.
bugs. Okay, so that's okay.
You
Look
would
at that
be-
little guy.
But I hope they don't eat. Oh, look at his little face.
You would be on the
Okay.
right side of the
He's
map.
so excited for life. Look at him.
That
Hey,
is-
guys.
I can't kill him.
I'll do it.
Hello? Who's here?
I will do it gladly.
No, I was so excited. I made the map giant so I could look at his little face.
Like,
Little face.
he's massive, okay?
Face, thank you.
This thing
Oh,
is
tiny screen.
this thing's
Pretty
the size
cute,
of a
though.
large bear.
God, frogs are
Alright.
so good.
Not even
He's
just a
got a
bear, but
little
a
face.
large bear.
Yeah. It's closer to like a grizzly. Its head's kind of peering out the water now, underneath the tree line. So, oh crap! If anyone's rolled initiative, I didn't have the thing
I
up, so
did.
I'll add you on automatically. Oh wait, no, it just kind of threw me
Did.
in. Nice.
Hey.
Cool, because that was
Um,
one of the first times I've ever rolled good initiative in
Yes.
D&D.
And I would have
feel
made you
like
do
my
it again. I would have
initiative
made you
lately
do it
have been
again.
so bad. I saw it. I was like, oh, thank finally. At least I know it's.
I never get above like an initiative of 12 and 5e ever.
Mine have all been like fives lately. What the hell?
I'm the slowest ever.
Come on, Joe. Come on.
What do you mean?
That was that roll, Joe.
Yeah.
What's that about? You, Tomato just said one of the first times he's
Yeah.
rolled well.
And now I stomped it, man.
I'm sorry. So the we also need
Oh, Juno.
Juno.
Who is going
So,
to get our little monk?
who said they wanted to do it last time?
I know it was not me.
Does anyone want to Jaeger Juno, or do you want me to give it to everyone so everyone can do it?
I mean, I can play him.
Okay,
I
Sure.
think I know how to do monk.
I'll put
We'll
in.
find out. It's okay. You can't kill her
everyone's
because she'll
thing.
just go on.
I think I did that kind of monk in one shot once.
You should
I
all
did it,
see
and
her
all I
in the
did was
heroes.
steal something. So
I think everyone should see her. So if someone wants to drag her on there and then roll initiative,
Dope.
Yeah. Dang. I have to grab the new page.
I got you.
Okay.
Boom. Oh, well,
Oh
there's
my
two.
god. And initiative.
okay. Okay. So, with the Sturges now kind of.
That makes sense.
Actually, these three would be closer because they're feeding on something that's like there. I don't have any bones on the ground, but imagine there is a kind of a dead crab there being fed on by these three. This one is they're all on the ground at the moment. Lena.
yes. Hello. Hi. Look at me. I'm so excited to have good initiative. Oh shit, that means I gotta go first. I am going to I will shoot this one.
Okay.
Pew! Bo, where are you, Bo, please? 24.
24 hits.
Oh, there's no sneak, sorry. 5.
5 points of damage. This one looks up. What are you shooting with? A short bow.
Yeah.
The arrow. And it drops down dead on the ground.
I just nod, satisfied.
Okay.
Mm.
And I think then I am going to. I'm gonna move. Nope. Yeah, I'm gonna move. What is this stuff I can like hide behind right here?
You could, yeah. We'll talk about the buildings if like you can kind of get there.
Sure.
Yeah, it's broken barrels and kind of pieces of
Yeah, I'll just kind of like
rubble where
hide
clearly
behind
Grendel came
some
through.
broken barrels.
Okay, take the hide action.
Just me hanging in barrels.
Cool. On the Sturge's turn, you see This one is going to fly straight towards you, Eldred. And attempt to attach itself to you.
Ew!
That is a nat 20.
All right.
She has bone armor, come on.
As it kind of see it come in, it buzzes in front of you, and it almost treats its movement, even though you can see its wings flapping, it becomes almost like hummingbird-like. It's moving side to side. And then immediately zooms in, latches onto you. You feel its kind of claws dig into you, and its mouth just pushes straight into your chest. You take 8 piercing damage as it pierces straight through. And it latches on. The other two. This one takes into the air. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. It's going to do it to Juno. Comes straight in for Juno. A 19 to hit Juno. I believe that hits Juno.
That
Right?
hits. That does.
She takes 4 points of damage, and then it attaches to her. It's almost on her side this time, and it just embeds right under her arm. This one flies up. And I think this one's going to go and kind of fly up here and take the dodge action on top of the thatch out. You can see it kind of almost like its head peering between the toad and you guys. Just trying to get the lay of the land first before choosing a target weak enough to attack. So it's going to take the dodge action. And
Makes
this
sense.
one sees the toad as it kind of rises out of the air. Actually, I'm going to roll to see if it does. Yeah, it sees the toad, flies in, and attempts to attach itself to it. But you can see, kind of pierces into the water, but can't actually get a good grip yet because the toad's not entirely out. It's technically half covered right now. Draven.
Cool. Okay. I'm right off the bat just going to take a swing at the one attached to Juno.
Mm-hmm.
So 16 to hit
16 hits.
for 12 points of slashing damage.
Nice.
You just bring your blade down, just slice this one open, and you almost like sever it from the actual mouth all the way through. And the last bit, Juno can just go, and pull it out and just throw it to the ground as it drops down dead.
Beautiful.
Gross.
And then I'm going to move here
Okay.
to the other one in front of, attached to Eldred.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Willoughby.
Willoughby is going to move here. Can I see the one on the roof here?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it because that one's
Okay.
actually hovering above the roof, about 5 feet up, almost just watching the group.
Okay. I'm going to shoot that one with a guiding bolt. 21 to hit
Hits.
for a smooth 12 radiant damage.
Like a mosquito in a bud zapper. It kind of burns away. The wings like melt into the ground. You see the fur burn away, and it drops down dead on top of the building.
And on my bonus action, I'm going to wild shape Archer Constellation. And is this one in a spot where I can shoot it without like hitting? Is it like possible for me to shoot this one without being worried that I'll hit Eldred?
No, it has increased AC whilst it's attached, but you can still hit it. Just have to be a precise shot.
Right on. That's a nat 20.
Hey.
Yeah,
My God.
aim
For
up.
another 18 radiant.
Very nice. And you fire out of your like arm bone. You see the radiant goes, and you sever its head, just kind of almost obliterating it to the point where not even a slight bit remains in you, Eldred, and the whole thing just drops to the ground, just like sizzling on the ground from radiant energy. It didn't even get to drink.
Willoughby just gives you a thumbs up.
Good. Ugh.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
It is your turn, Eldred.
I'm too far to get right up to this frogs, but I think I'm going to step out to the right and towards the frog a bit, and then reach for some spirits from the ground with a nab and these little different colored, mostly green and blue spirits will float up and then sort of pop in front of the toad's eyes, like when you're dizzy, you got lights and spots in your eyes.
Yeah.
I want to cast Bane.
Also,
If there's
roll a
one more
perception check, by
Sturge
the way.
left. Okay. There's one more Sturge left, so it'll also happen to them.
Okay.
Perception.
No,
Does he not have eyes? Natural one. Oh, I
Okay,
don't
yeah.
have eyes.
It's okay.
Yeah, right. Well,
He does have eyes though, yeah. Are you?
Not that this
Natural
has
one.
anything to do with eyes. That's just
you
a
can tell
flavor.
it.
And this is Bane, by the way.
Yes.
Are you upcasting it
So
to get 2
charisma
characters or?
No, just on first cast, it counts for 3.
Oh, okay.
First level.
Oh yeah, of course it does. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking when you add an extra one as only on Bless and Bane. Okay. Charisma save.
Yes.
That's a -3. So it
Oh,
fails.
he ugly.
Yeah, it. The spirits kind of start. You don't see its eyes flicker. It has that very kind of still motion that frogs and toads do, where they kind of stand and they move all suddenly. But you can see it staring, and the pupils grow larger as it's trying to kind of take in all of these spirits that are flitting around it now.
And the Sturge?
Sturge fails as well,
Uh-huh.
and is baned.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I will stay here.
It is Juno's turn.
Juno is going to move.
I think Juno has 40 feet, by the way, because monk. Wait,
do
did they
they
get it
have-
yet? I think so. I think they start
They
off.
do
with-
have 40.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, Juno's gonna move into range.
Mhm.
And use their bonus action to activate their golden wisdom thing.
Yeah, you
So
see it burst out.
DC 14 dex save
Nice.
on the, I think, just the toad.
Yeah, I think.
How
just the
long is a toad's tongue versus a frog's?
I want us all to be together doing
It
that
fails.
pose.
Takes 6 force damage.
Very nice.
Get slammed.
Just it kind of appears and just whacks against the toad.
And I think I still have an action because that's just a normal speed. So take a swing as well. 18 to hit.
18 hits.
7 more force.
7 points of force damage.
Juno was wild.
Just slams against it once. You just see it go. And it shifts its body movement and is like facing Juno.
That's it.
On its turn, it is going to go ahead and try and bite Juno. See as it goes.
Fuck, dude.
Try and bite across. 23.
Definitely
Minus
hits Juno.
D4.
Minus D4. You're right. You're right.
Not that she has a 20 AC.
It's
I
not
rolled a
gonna
1, so
work.
might.
it's 22.
16 AC.
She takes 5 points of piercing damage and immediately 5 points of poison as you can see all these pustules across the tongue. And it goes. Swallows Juno whole.
Swallow her?
No!
She is now currently inside.
Spit them out.
You can see
I
almost
don't- that's
Out.
the
drop
golden
it.
wisdom attached to kind of Juno goes like inside with it. And it just keeps hold. And you can just see that the toad in that very kind of amphibian-like way was like a quick motion where it just leans across, swallows Juno, and it just stays absolutely still, and its eyes just look towards you. And it like hops slightly to the side. And it bursts from the water. It gets to about here. And stops. Lena.
No, please don't kill my love of toads with this fight. This is making me really sad.
I wish I
Alright.
had the kit together to talk this toad out of this big mistake it's doing right now.
Yeah, right?
I wish I had the right spells.
Does Juno count as
Gotcha.
next to within 5 feet of it? Do I
Juno's
get-
inside.
So, do I get to sneak or not? Like, is I have an ally within
Not
5
hesitated.
feet of it? It is within 5 5
Give me a
feet of
sec,
the
give me a
toad, technically.
I'm just checking if it says the
She's-
creature is incapacitated or not.
I think restrained.
I'm
maybe,
not gonna
but
attack the toad
incapacitated.
anyway.
She's
It's
blinded
fine.
and restrained. She is not incapacitated. You can
Okay,
have
well, I'm
sneak.
still gonna attack the.
You can see Juno moving occasionally like the throat, like pushes open. And you
Oh,
can see it's
no.
not just the croak. It's definitely Juno wiggling inside.
Okay, I'm
Lena,
gonna.
stab it here.
Please don't stop,
Only a
Juno.
13 on the bow. I'm gonna stay where I am
is its
right
AC.
now. Okay. 11.
11 points of damage as you fire an arrow into it. And you fire at a point where you see like Juno's trying to push out, and you hit against it, and just see a kind of a split, and the blood dribbles down the side of it. Almost like she was helping direct you where to hit.
Okay. I will stay there.
Okay. This one is going to fly
Oh yeah. there's
straight
one
towards
more
you,
left.
Draven. And then bite. That's a 19
Go
to
for
hit.
That
Minus
hits.
D4.
Minus D4.
Mm.
Thank you for thinking. A 16 to hit.
That will biz.
You see as it comes in, like, it's about to get to the flesh, and its eye flicks as it sees a spirit, and it kind of gets distracted and hits against your arm and then pulls back a little bit. It is your turn.
Okay, well, it's gonna get an attack of opportunity because I'm actually, hold on.
Can you stand in the middle and hit them both?
No, not yet. Nah, this isn't a moment for it. That's a moment for a dramatic moment. Draven is going to cast Divine Favor.
Okay.
So as a bonus action, add basically a D4 radiant damage to his blade. But the interesting thing is, as it's engulfed, instead of like a radiance, you see what looks to be a shadow that starts to hug his long blade.
Okay.
And then he is going to move around it. So go ahead and make that attack of opportunity.
Oh, no, you're not leaving its range, technically, are you?
Oh, that's true. No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
it doesn't get one.
Hell yeah.
You're like,
Okay.
hang on a second, and you just go around him.
And then I'm going to try to strike this thing at the neck where Lena had shot it.
Okay.
That's an 18 to hit.
Teamwork.
18 hits.
All right. And I am going to put Ice Smite on this as well.
Very
So
nice.
that will
Thank you.
be, good God, 10 points of slashing and 11 points of radiant, so for 21.
Oh, very nice. 21 damage as you just cut straight through it. And you see a hole open up where like the sinew of the muscle is like keeping it together. But you can kind of see for a second like a couple of fingertips of Juno and like pulling out. It will give Juno advantage if she wants to try and break out on her turn.
Hey, Juno. How's the
Stupid
water
eye,
in
like-
there?
Get me out of here.
Then you're fine. All right, that's my turn.
Willoughby.
I'm going to aim at the frog, the toad, and I'm going to shoot another guiding bolt.
Okay.
20 to hit.
20 hits.
13 radiant damage.
Very nice.
And then I'm going to bonus action archer attack, which will now be at advantage. 14 to hit
14 hits.
for another 7 radiant damage.
You just pierce into it with one massive cutting bolt, causing this radiant burn, and it's striking the same spot again, kind of burning away some of its flesh. Its eyes just start flickering around, like maneuvering itself to be ready through any of the predators attacking it.
Spit them out. Last warning.
We're not predators. We just walked into a village, man.
Oh, no, I am.
It attacked us.
I'm gonna kill that thing. I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat its legs. Frog legs this big? You kidding me?
Legs for days.
Oh my God.
That's me.
Scrooge.
Uh,
It's chicken.
Brizzy.
I'm going to run up behind this toad, and on the tips of my fingers, I have these metal, sort of like claw nail attachments that are like iron. very sharp, and I'm going to, as I'm whispering a spell that has been heard before. Where is it? It sounds like. Do not kill me. I'm going to try to stab into its spine and drag down and sort of force some spirits of the dead. You know, there's some fresh dead of this area that helps summon some more and cast inflict wounds.
Go for it.
There's a lot of fingers. There's gotta be a lot of dead people.
14 to hit.
That hits.
11 necrotic.
Very nice. Yeah, you just see the spirit sort of tearing into it. And you see one of its hands goes up, almost like it's like trying to brush them off. And its eyes like turn to you, and it's kind of confused where it's coming from. Okay. Anything else?
That's my turn.
At the beginning of Juno's turn, she takes
Oh no.
17 points.
Juno is unconscious.
What?
17 points of acid damage. I rolled very high on that roll.
Holy shit.
Juno falls unconscious inside. There are no death saving throws though for Juno, as she is kind of being Jaegered. But I will say, the giant toad spits her out unconscious onto the ground there.
Okay, good.
Was that so hard?
I don't know
Get
if
outta
the
here.
giant wisdom. I don't know if the golden wisdom disappears.
Unconscious. I think it does.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So you'd see it spits out without the golden wisdom.
Oh no, it ate the golden wisdom.
Spit out the other person too.
All of it?
No.
It turns and looks at you, Eldred. I'm gonna roll a d2 to see which one it finds the tastiest snack out of Eldred and Draven.
Vote along.
Eldred is gonna attack with
Sorry.
-d4. And you see its mouth come up. It's gonna miss regardless of the d4. And you manage to pull up your shield in time, and you just see the massive mouth trying to bite around you and then pulls back. That's what it can do. And actually, in fact, it is going to. No, because it would take a attack of opportunity. It's just going to be defensively looking at both of you, Lena.
How's the toad look?
It is covered in cuts and bruises and burns. It looks pretty rough.
All right. I will stay here and shoot it again. What's with the 13?
13 is exactly its armor class, though,
yeah.
so it hits.
12.
12 points of damage. Very nice. You just fire another arrow hole into it. It's now like almost becoming a pincushion.
I tried to fire it into the same hole. Okay, I will stay here.
This creature seeing Draven and knowing the toad is too close, turns and flies straight towards you, Lena.
That's fine.
And he's going to try and bite you.
Please don't.
An 11 to hit.
I
Wait,
don't
if
like
it flew
frogs.
away, don't I get an attack of
You
opportunity?
do indeed.
It also wouldn't hit.
That's a nat one for a 7.
You see as it kind of buzzes away, and you would have tried to attack, but it moves a little bit too fast. As it goes to bite you, Lena, you'd be able to dodge to the side. You see it go kind of flying around in front of you. Draven, it is your turn, though.
As he misses the bug to swing, he's going to swing around for another strike at the toad.
Go for it.
And look at. Oh my god, I forgot her name. Juno. Don't
Juno.
tell Mark.
Yeah.
Looks at Juno and is like, miss again. And tries to strike the toad for a 24.
24 hits.
All right. That's for 10 points of radiant and 14 points of slashing, so
Whoa.
24 damage total.
24, yeah, you just bring your blade down, just cutting through it, and you can see the burning of the radiant. This toad is looking pretty damn hurt. It was a chunky boy beforehand and could take a lot of damage, but you have,
Wow.
in just a case of just like 15 seconds or so that have gone by, you guys have cut through it several times.
Spit on it. Not in a sexy way. I just... I felt like that was necessary.
Thank you for that
clarification.
caveat. I appreciate
It
it.
was necessary. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, Driven likes toes." No.
It's canon. He doesn't like
I
toads.
mean, I can have a
everyone.
swallow you next time. That's fine.
Yeah.
Willoughby.
Go do another guiding bolt.
Okay.
This thing's pretty much done. 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Cool beans. That's a 10 radiant.
10 radiant.
And then with advantage,
I like that you
Orchard
give
Blast.
yourself advantage, you jerk.
that's how it works, dude. 26 to hit.
That
Oh
hits.
my god.
Or another 13.
You want to describe how you kill the toad?
I think one of the last arrows Willoughby channels just shoots out of his bow right into the hole that has been made from just the constant barrage of attacks to one spot, and the toad kind of just lights on fire from the inside.
Draven is convinced he lit it on fire by
Nice.
spitting on it. I just want you to know. It's like,
You see, as it croaks, it almost like a glow stick. It goes, and you can see the burning embers inside, and that bursts open and just spills with blood on the ground.
Ew.
And it almost deflates as it falls to the ground, and its eyes roll back. The toad lies dead.
I
Didn't
just
have to
yelled
be like
bug.
this.
Eldrick.
Nice.
ugh.
Yeah. I'm stooping straight down to Juno to give her a cure wounds.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Juno heals for 12.
Let's see. Yeah, 12s. Just
nice.
this time, the claws, instead of digging in, I'm just gently grazing across her
Aw.
burns in the way that
Yeah.
feels nice across your back, you know? And,
Yeah.
and then green light sort of heals burns from the acid.
And you can see the
12
burns
healing.
start to, mostly fade. Now to go.
Nuero. That's my turn.
Okay. It is her turn.
Oh, I thought that once they went unconscious, we took them out of the game.
You're right. Sorry, we
Yeah,
do. Yeah, we did. That is the rule.
Yeah, but
Um,
if she's unconscious, I would heal
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
so-
yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Lena then.
God, there's still a bug left.
Stab the
There
bug.
is still one.
She's just still too
I'm
weak
like,
to fight.
bug. And it's a nat 20.
Bug.
Okay, you can roll the damage, but I'm guessing you're going to kill it with this damage. Yeah.
It's 9.
Do you want to describe how you kill the last of them?
Yeah, I actually don't like bugs, so I am literally just yelling like, bug! And I just go like that without even looking and just slice.
You slice it enough that it kind of slams against the wall side, and you just hear, and it just slides down the wall,
And then I kick it.
dropping down dead.
I
to the ground.
don't like bugs.
Okay.
It just...
That ends initiative. You stand in the village. No more of the sturges around drinking. The toad dead on the ground. Juno would be getting up going, didn't expect that.
All right.
Is everyone okay?
Thanks to you.
You good?
They're cutting up the frog legs.
Okay. Yeah. You.
I just want both.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead
not
and
gonna prepare them
do.
yet.
Just to see how clean of a cut you make it, let's go ahead and just do a straight dexterity check, just to make sure that
You got it. 9.
it's not your cleanest work.
That's
and
fair.
it's a bit jagged, and you can see as you've kind of almost had to put your foot against one of the legs to break it off, and it's not the cleanest, but it's the size of a club, each of the legs, so there's lots of meat on it.
Yes. What are you all eating?
Nothing.
Not
So-
the bugs.
I mean, when we cook those, I'd be down to eat frog legs, but
Yes, sharing. Correct. Deal.
Well, I'm going to take a look around and
Yes, I'd like to
try to maybe
find
that
house over the bridge, yes?
house. Joe, I'm going to cast Locate Object using the description
Okay.
the guy gave me in the cave. Try to find that item, get that.
Okay.
Because Willoughby feels bad.
You cast Locate Object. And the house that is across the small... When he mentioned like bridge, it's like a decking that just goes over one of the streams. It is a lone house
Cute.
in the corner that seems to have its kind of door torn off and thrown to one side, and the opening is destroyed. But it seems to be kind of coming from in there.
I'm gonna go find that item they wanted.
I'm gonna go with, because I'd like to look for anything else that looks like it might be a memento of his wife's, like a, I don't know, anything.
Okay.
Drawing of them as a family together, or like, do you know what I mean? Just
Sure.
kind of any sort of memento.
You both wander over and step into the house. Both of you give me an investigation check.
19.
Not in my. But nat 20.
It's like your third
Nat
of the
20s,
game.
right?
you
I roll
monster.
hot on this character because I roll real bad on all my other characters.
Wilby's blessed by the gods. With a 19 from you, Lainey, you go in there looking for any memento. You would see that this is a very humble living. It's very much a basic bed with anything soft they can kind of get into it. Any blankets or any fur that they can have thrown on there. Lots of fishing supplies. And not much in the way, and like some kind of racks where they might keep their clothing on, hanging off kind of strings. They've got like fishing line to kind of hang them off of. But not really much in the way of any like memorabilia or anything.
Okay.
Willoughby, he mentioned that locket would have been underneath the floorboard. Your locate object is coming from the corner. And you can see the floorboards in this small room have already been removed and kind of tuckered over to the side, exactly where you think a little compartment was. And the locate object is coming from the corner, down at the bottom of the corner, small in the shadow. And there, can you roll a perception check for me?
Yes. Also, I would still be in my wild shape, so I'm emitting a light, almost sort of like a torch.
Okay, then
right now.
you don't need the perception check. You look down with the locate object. You notice a rat in the corner with a lock pendant in its mouth, and it looks up to you and scutters straight for the door, trying to go underneath your
Okay,
legs.
as he's running away, I'm going to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Stop right there. It's okay, I'm not going to hurt you.
Carries on running underneath you.
All
Go
right.
by me. Can I try
Guess
to grab it, stab it, whatever?
What do you want to do?
I was going to say.
Which one?
I was going to cast Entangle to try to stop them.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and cast. Entangle would require a dex save from them, is that right?
Strength saving throw or
Strength
be restrained. Yes.
That is a.
Save of 50.
They rolled a 15 exactly. They rolled a 16 minus 1. What did you want to do, Lena? As the roots come up, it dodges between them.
I would have just tried to stab it.
Go ahead.
We're not gonna hurt you.
23.
Roll damage.
Sorry.
Well,
12. I guess 12. No sneak. Well, I don't know. It's going to be right there.
Okay. You stab it. And as you do, your blade goes up as it forms into this kind of pink-skinned person with dark hair, dark eyes.
Damn it!
Looks at it and you've carved a huge hole in his side. And he kind of falls against the side. You now recognize why your speak with animals didn't work. He looks at you.
What's he doing? Why are you taking the locket? What is going on?
He kind of spits out the locket onto the ground and holds the side. He's bleeding profusely. I'm gonna die.
I can help
maybe
you.
none of you tell us who
I don't
you
know.
are.
I hear screaming. Let's go check it out.
Sounds like fun.
What's your name? And we'll help you.
I'm Freyas. Freyas.
Where are you from, Reyes?
He's like,
Yeah,
I'm
from
dying.
here?
You can see his kind of blood is like a lightish red. Oh, you killed me! You killed me!
I'm going to kill you in a minute
You
if you don't
fuck!
say what is going on.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to die.
Said
I'm
he's
not
naked.
going to die.
He's kind of wearing very kind of slight cloth on his lower end, but he's mostly naked.
What the hell is happening?
Why did you know this was here? Why were you taking it?
I knew.
Were you going to steal a dead woman's locket?
No, dead families. They're all dead. It's not like they're needed.
They're not all dead.
I'm dying. It kind of
Oh,
holds aside.
you're not dying. I'm gonna fucking cure wounds.
Okay.
Really
While you're doing that,
resentfully.
Wildy is going to pick
And as
up
I-
the locket.
As I
Okay.
cast Cure Wounds, I'm gonna look him right in the eye. And you'll just see, like, us again. You hear, like, a slight sound of, like, waves in an ocean crashing. You get a sensation of, like, right, waves.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna stare him right in the eye. Okay, from here,
Well, I live on the corner.
you live on the corner. Were you here during the attack?
He looks down at his kind of mended wound. It's like poking at it. Of course I was here.
Tell me what happened.
Who are you?
Tell
Hey,
me
while
what happened.
Lena's doing interrogation, I'm gonna recast Wild Shape to switch to Dragon Constellation.
Okay. Roll an intimidation check, Lena. I'll give you advantage because you did just stab him and nearly kill him in one hit.
18.
Look, I don't want... I'm not looking to die. I'm been dead for years. That creature Grendel. The one they were talking about down in Herod. Came during one of the weddings. I don't know, I was watching from the side. They did not let me join in. Bunch of
They-
fucking...
Why didn't they let you join in?
Do people here not like you?
No, no one likes me. Didn't always
Nobody
live here.
likes you?
No!
How long have you lived here?
Less than half a year. I built a little place. They didn't really want me to do that. But you
Why
know,
not?
I don't know, I used to drink and argue and I lost all of my coin down in Herod and I didn't really have anywhere to go and apparently I bring the mood down. So I was watching the wedding from outside mine. This creature comes. Starts biting people in two like the leg of lamb. Starts killing everyone. Some he just kills to save for later. Just breaks them in two. And then rushes around.
Why didn't it kill you?
I must have smelled bad. Looked in my
Because you're a
direction.
miserable sack of shit.
You got a miserable
you too.
backstory.
It's your name Freyas, you said?
Freyas,
Freyas.
I'm
Eldred, one
sorry.
of my rumors, right?
Your what?
rumor.
You're sorry?
The one about like smelling bad. What if I was right?
Oh, right.
Sorry for being a miserable sack of shit.
Yes.
Point.
No, you should be grateful. It's the reason you're alive.
Great. The one person who wanted to die and takes everyone else.
I mean, you obviously didn't want to
Chris.
die because you were like,
Well,
Well,
then
if
what
you
the-
wanted to die, like, then I could have just. Do you want me to stab you again and to kill
No.
you this time?
was
I
being
can.
dramatic.
Would you like? Okay. Well, then don't
I
be silly.
died months ago.
Which
How did you die months ago?
Well, I lost my coin and held to a damn cheat.
Who was the cheat?
I don't know. Some short
You don't
man.
even know.
Derek.
No. I don't get that.
Imagine
Not a
though-
gnome, a human.
Human, dwarf, I don't know.
Freya's, look at me.
What?
I'm gonna look him in the eyes again, and when I do, my eyes are going to turn black for a second. Is there anyone else like you here in this village?
Everyone's dead. And then I watch and
Was
then
there?
no. Most of them are just human. There's one or two dwarves. But they're all dead now. I watched as it came back to eat them all. Took some of them
Didn't
away.
see anyone escape.
No. Well, no. A couple of people ran off towards the woods. Probably got eaten on the way. I just kept seeing the creature go that way and dragging the bodies down, and
Which way?
When the Grendel left, which way did it go? It left for good.
when it went, I think it kind of points northward. And that way, and then you heard a splash. So it didn't kill me. I thought it's because I smell.
I think it's because you're kind of a downer, honestly, Freyas. If you had been celebrating like everyone else,
What's the
maybe
Grendel
point
it
in
would
a
have
likes
killed
wedding?
you and you
party.
could have been happy.
The thing about weddings is that it is not pointless. Everyone dies, everyone loses everything they love. Oh, I could tell you 100 different stories about the times I've lost. I keep losing me. Never win. No matter what I take. Even when I'm a rat, the other rats avoid me.
Freyas, I think it's because of your attitude, honestly. You need to
I know,
know,
I'm such a...
just
I am a loser. I have
Oh,
nothing
Freyas.
going for me. My attitude is just... What's the point in being happy anymore, eh? It's...
You
Freyas!
said you came to steal from family, right?
Their family, not mine. I've no family here. I lost them too. Not from any death or anything. I don't have a sad story. Mostly just left me. 2 years ago, really. Sad thing, really. Waking up and seeing everyone move on. Not waking you. Never
Lena.
letting it go.
Who moved on? What are you talking about?
Lena, please
My
trust me.
Family.
Trust me on this next part. Okay?
I just look at you.
I step on his chest
Okay.
and I pull out my blade. And I point it at him. Well, if you have nothing left, right?
Uh,
Do you want to live?
yes.
Freyas,
I lean in. You're sure?
Yes, don't kill me.
wait,
You
Stop.
know
what's on
where
him
you
for a
go
minute?
when you die, right?
Me, probably nowhere.
The
Void.
pain doesn't stop.
Good.
Hold on a second, Draven. Freyas,
What?
if my friend lets you up, you need to actually live. This is a waste of everyone's time and effort for you to just mope around sadly all the time. Sack up and actually do something with your life. Otherwise, I'm going to have him just stab you right now.
I could just bite him instead. And
He could
Draven
just bite
flashes
you
his
right
teeth.
now. Are you going to get up and do something with your actual life, or are you going to let my friend kill you right now? Pick
Look.
one, but pick.
Everyone else in this town died. Do you really care about being a survivor? No one else needs to carry their stories, right? Is there anything of value in this town? Probably not. This is a shit place, right? Who cares if there's anyone left?
I'll live. I'll do something. I'll live. But who would hire me?
Hey.
Well, you could turn into a rat. That's pretty helpful.
Reyes.
And a fish.
And a,
And a
and a
fish.
And
You
a
can
fish.
head.
Anything else?
I once turned into a caterpillar. Those are
I
my
think I know
friends.
someone who would hire you, Freyas.
As a fish? Or...
Now, as you and the things you can do.
Okay.
I get my foot off of him.
Kind of pushes himself to stand up.
I kick a wall, frustrated.
Oh. Sorry. Who?
I just kind of shake my head. You can ask around. If you head towards Herod, you can ask around when the gate opens. It's not open right now. There are some folks there who I think might be able to use someone with your talents. You head to the Hall of Spoken Coin and ask around. And I'm not going to give him I'm gonna look at everyone else actually, once I say Hall of the Spoken Coin, to see whether they would actually give a name or not. And I'll just sort of like turn my head like,
There's plenty of people there.
Freyas?
Yeah, you've got a unique skill set. I'm sure you can find employment.
You need to... Don't be so sad all the time.
Oh.
That's gonna be hard for you. But you kind of need to get your act together a little. This is a new lease on life for you here, right? That we have given you.
Yeah, I suppose.
So now you need to take that and do something with it. Go to Herod, go to the Hall of Spoken Coin, say you are looking for work. Be quiet about the things you can do, and when you are introduced to the right people, you will know, and you can tell them what you can do, and they will give you work.
He's just like kicking... One of the fingers is on the ground just below him. He's like kicking it back and forth like a kid.
Or, Freyas, or... You could continue to wander around sad in the fen, and maybe the Grendel will eat you at some point. Maybe a toad will eat you. Maybe those giant bugs will
Are they
jump
gone?
onto you and suck all of your blood out.
Oh, not my blood.
Well, it's a bug. I don't think they have standards. You're fine.
He looks to you, Eldred. What is it like when you die?
Not
Wouldn't
what they
you die?
promised you.
It hurts? A lot?
That knife
They
hurt a
tell
lot.
you hell is peace, but it is more torture, more pain, more work, and very, very cold.
I hate it.
Draven looks at you very confused when you say cold. Your hell is cold.
Yes.
Yours is hot?
Something like that, yes.
Ugh. Alright. I hate to hell it. I'll try and find this work. I'll just go into the gate if it's closed. Alright.
In hell, you lose all identity. Here, at least, you are a miserable sack of shit, but you are the only you version sack of shit that exists.
Suppose I have that going for me. I'm a unique miserable sack of shit.
And you're not stuck that way forever.
If it all goes wrong, I had a backup plan anyway.
Yeah?
Be a fish. Find a school.
Not so bad to be a fish.
How long can you hold it up? You can stay that way forever, or you must turn back eventually.
I'd have to take breaks, but I'll just wait by the bank.
That could be very nice.
Peaceful.
Just watch out for bigger fish.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh. I don't know if I'm cut out to be a fish. I'll go to
No
Harris.
shots for fishermen.
Oh, he kind of looks around at the fishing supplies. Nothing has it easy in this world.
No, Frizz,
No?
nothing has it easy. That's. How old are you? Did you just learn this now?
No, but I've never traveled very far.
Okay, here's a top tip. Nothing has it easy. Everything is a struggle.
Oh,
Good luck.
okay. He walks outside and looks around. Oh. Thank you for not killing me, and good luck with your granddaughter. Should I? He looks at the fingers. Should I clear this? I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, off you go.
Okay. And he turns into a rat and scurries off.
Jeez, we never meet anyone normal. They're always pathetic.
No, we really don't.
Pathetic or strange.
Did he say good luck with your granddaughter?
He
The
assumes.
Grendel, I think
The
he
Grendel.
said.
I heard granddaughter as well. I did, so it wasn't
I'm
just you.
not really old enough to have a granddaughter, but okay.
There.
I'm gonna take some fishing line and a fishing hook
Sure.
that's
Okay.
laying around.
How does everyone feel about resting here? I feel like the next stretch of this journey will put us a little
Just
close
just
to the
for a
Grendel.
moment.
It's not a bad idea.
Like a
We
little
have-
bit or for a whole rest? Well, how is Juno? I guess we need to know.
Juno's heard enough that
Juno's unconscious.
No,
She's
not
at
yet,
12.
right?
they want to actually
Oh.
rest. Besides, I'm going to send a message back to Throod
Yes.
with the directions we have already. And if the Grendel's just north, I'm assuming if I just say go north from here, they'll be able to find their way.
That makes sense. Well, we have plenty of food, and he like
We have shelter here.
gestures to his arms, and then like picks up a finger.
Don't eat the finger, please.
I don't want to eat the finger, but
Plenty of frog. It's delicious.
there is frog.
Adjacent.
Yes, okay, we can rest here.
Rad.
All right.
All right, Joe, I got stuff to do
Okay.
while we rest. First of all, I want to clean up the map I've been drawing to send to Throod. And I want to find two separate animals. I want to find a bird. I want to find like a rat, something small.
Okay.
It doesn't matter which order I find these two, but I'm going to cast Animal Messenger on both of them. The bird is going to go to Throod, carrying my map.
Okay.
The rat, or something small, is going to go to the cave and deliver the locket.
Okay. The rat's the easiest one to find. You can see them kind of scurrying around, trying to get any supplies. One's chewing on one of the fingers when you go close. And when you give it the message, it kind of opens its mouth to take the little locket, kind of bites down, and scurries along the ground, carrying it. The other one, the bird takes you a little longer. Whilst you're kind of keeping things kind of calm and you're resting, you see eventually a crow that kind of lands, perches down, listens to your message. Are you passing a piece of paper to it then?
I'm going to pass a piece of paper to it, and I'm also going to, if there's anything I couldn't actually portray,
Mhm.
like more specific details on a map, the animal can also basically speak in my voice when it delivers the message.
Okay.
So I'm also going to explain in more detail, like nuances in the map.
Okay. Yeah, almost like a parrot repeating back. It repeats back what you say, and then takes off and begins flying south.
Okay.
Is there anything
That's all I need to do.
anyone else wants to do during the short rest?
Yeah, I'm gonna get my pillow out and fluff it up. Take a blanket.
Okay.
from one of the houses.
That was actually a pretty good idea.
You all had the opportunity to get pillows.
So strange.
The only one that thought of it.
No.
If you need to roll hit dice, by the way, you can go ahead and roll hit dice as if you finish a short rest or restore any features.
All right.
Do
Come
we
back
want to take a
rest.
long rest
I
before
think we're
we
doing.
Are you doing long?
to the? Because I was thinking long rest because we have shelter here. We just dealt with the problem
Okay.
immediately here.
If we do a long rest, will it be morning when we wake up?
No, it'll
time is
be
it
8 hours from now. It will be about 8 p.m.
Okay, that's not bad.
7
Yeah.
p.m.
Besides, it might be smarter to travel at night, getting any closer to the Grendel, anyways, than to.
Yeah. I'm going to use a divine sense then while we are here to make sure that there's nothing of horrifying nature within 60 feet of us before we sleep.
My
Okay.
character also doesn't sleep, so I'll be able to stay fully aware. And we'll
Yeah, so
keep
that's
watch.
celestial fiend or undead in the area.
Okay.
Don't make that face.
Well, you don't detect. I'm just trying to work out what it would be. It's almost like a mix between celestial and undead, but it shimmers from every single finger. As if the fingers are empowered.
Oh.
It's more celestial.
I want to bite one.
I told you not to eat those.
Well, you said you didn't want to eat it.
I can't eat it, and I wouldn't
Draven.
even if I could.
You
What?
can have my share of the fingers.
Thank you.
Are you all eating fingers?
I'm not eating them. I'm going to give them to Draven. I don't want them.
And I'm going to suck on it.
If you do, can you please roll a Constitution saving throw?
Hell yes, I can. 5.
This guy.
Your jaw unhinges slightly and grows a little larger. Your eyes become wolf-like.
Draven.
Fur kind of appears on the sides of your cheeks.
Oh shit.
Dre.
Remains that way for several minutes.
I told you not to eat that finger.
Draven, you're
Are
turning
you
into
okay?
a
Do
dog.
you feel anything?
You
You are
look like-
furry.
You're turning
Can
into
you
a
still
dog
understand what we're saying?
really slowly.
Does my sense of
Huh?
smell get any better?
I would say it improves. Yeah, it would improve. Probably only by like a +1, not incredibly, but
Are you
I
still
will-
thinking clearly? Are you hungry or?
I open my knapsack and I just start loading fingers in there.
okay.
Oh God, he's
Roll
addicted.
a perception check.
14.
One thing you notice when you're picking up all the fingers,
Mm-hmm.
every single one of them is a middle finger.
It's a middle finger.
No, it is. Every single one of them is a middle finger. There are no, be it left hand or right hand, only the middle fingers have been left.
I don't understand why sucking on this finger gave me fur on my face and unhinged my jaw. My eyes, I felt them change. There's a sense of celestial and undead nature. It's interesting.
Eldred, Lena, and Willoughby. Do any of you know about monsters?
I would think just from the amount of time Willoughby's been alive, he may know
So
a pretty
I
good
would say-
amount just about the world in general.
a little bit.
Not as much as I would want. No.
Okay. And
Especially if like gods ever talked about any monsters during any point.
Willoughby, Lena, go ahead and roll a religion check.
Oh, okay.
I believe in you.
15.
I'm super religious.
Okay.
Oh shit, 18.
You'd be super religious to not
Yeah.
talk.
You know, I'm real religious now, I'll tell you that much.
You would have both heard this. Willoughby, not in the circle of gods. It's a tale, more like a kind of a fable that is spoken about by mortals and people further in the south, as it's a fable about a different god. Lena, you would have heard it in your circles. You would know that the middle fingers are referred to as the sister fingers. What this refers to is when Angrboda, the mother of monsters, the mother of Jormungandr, Hel, and Fenrir. When she first gave birth to Fenrir, she allowed her sister to cradle the pup. The sister ran her 2 fingers in circular motions around the pup's jaw, massaging it, stroking it. Only for Fenrir, when the fingers lowered down towards the mouth, to bite down on both of them. In the pain, the sister would sooner lose her fingers than let Fenrir mangle them. So she turned them ablaze, charred her own fingers inside the wolf's mouth, and burnt them to a crisp. She removed her charred fingers as the pup cried, as the fable goes. There are many creatures and monsters of the world, many coming from different bloodlines. But not all share the blood of the mother of monsters. Those that do not chew on the middle fingers of their victims, those that leave just those behind. And there's only a few fables that exist in this manner. For few beasts from Angrboda's line exist. But those creatures that don't eat the middle fingers, for fear that they will burn their mouths, are few and far between. And it means they share the line of Angrboda. They're a unique line of monsters.
Tell everyone.
My God.
Get that out of your mouth.
After a few minutes, you see your features fade and you realize it is the remnant of the bloodline of these monsters.
Gosh, that's telling Draven it's a bloodline is like the worst thing that can happen. It's a bloodline. Don't put them in your mouth. Now I gotta bag him.
Well, you could take them with you. Picks up every finger in town.
I'm gonna suck on 2 of them at once.
Okay.
So this village was attacked by gremlins and werewolves of sorts.
Is it?
Some sort of wolf
Well,
monsters of Fenrir.
We know that Grendel was here. Is Angrboda Grendel's mother? Is there
Right, is
something like-
Grendel related to Angrboda?
This is good
Draven!
information to-
Stop. What are you?
Draven,
Yeah.
your skin breaks in your side. It hurts for a moment. As an extra arm grows out, but you can't use it.
Draven!
It just dangles at the side, like a limp arm.
What is your problem?
And then spines burst out your back, and it kind of causes you to have a slight hunchback for a moment.
Are you?
Okay, maybe that's not worth it. Huh?
You can't even stand straight. You have a weird arm that's not doing anything. Can you move it? Are you okay? Are you in pain?
I told you not to eat that finger.
You gotta stop eating fingers.
Fine.
Are you sure? I don't know what to. It'll go away, right? If you stop eating the fingers, like the face went away.
Why don't you just go try to sleep that off?
Draven walks over to a wall, and in something that you haven't seen before, he walks up a wall and then hangs upside down with spider climb.
Does the extra arm just kind of like fall the other way?
Yeah, it would just hang limply towards the ground.
That is just so unsettling.
After the few minutes goes by, the skin seals over, and almost just cutting it off, the arm drops from you, and then shrivels up, and almost just burns away, like a child. arm.
Oh, look at that!
And your back goes back to normal.
What do you think would happen if I put them in a stew?
Like all of them at once?
Yeah.
You'd probably look like Grendel, I'm guessing, or something. Extra arms, some spines. Maybe you get scales. Maybe you lose your hair.
I just explode. And die.
How about, I don't know. I'm guessing lots of arms, and you lose some hair, and maybe you look like
I liked the
Like
wolf one. I didn't like
crooked.
I didn't
Yeah.
like the bendy arm one.
You're gonna get bendy arms. The thing is, you never get what you want out of this, right? So you'll end up with like 6 arms, but they'll all be
maybe if
little
I-
ones like this
I-
that you can't do anything
if I
with.
test them in moderation, I'll figure out which one give me which, and then I'll grind them up and make.
Oh, like
stew
some
out of them.
fingers you think could do the arms,
I-
some
well,
do like the
only
dog
stew.
face.
Yeah.
What if
guess-
one just gives you like a useful tail? That would be good. Don't. I'm joking. Please don't try more fingers.
Well, that's
Don't-
fine.
At least do it quietly while we're all sleeping. I don't want to
That's-
see this.
Don't
No,
say
don't
that.
do it while we're
Then-
sleeping. What
then
if
you
something bad
go-
happens and then we don't wake up? Yeah.
I'll wake up and I'll look like a
Yeah.
Drendel.
I'll be
Dreadful, I
awake
like
if you
it.
start to die. Just make a horrible guttural screech. I'll hear.
No,
it
you
from
can't do
inside.
that. You need a word, because you'll probably like if your face gets very long, you won't be able to talk well, right? So it will all come out like, oh, you need to.
Well, if
Yeah.
if I hear any
You
kind
need a
of
signal
sound
now.
come from where Draven is sleeping, it sounds sort of like. Then I'll just assume. that
Oh, can you
he's-
do that one, Draven? Can you make that? No. Yeah, that. Now we know. Also, please don't keep eating it's dangerous.
Use the
I'll
fingers.
stop.
Yeah, I can't fathom it being worth it.
But I'm just saying, what if I can?
Oh, wait,
harm-
is Angraboda like Grendel's mother? Is this what this is? Is Grendel from that line?
Do
I
we
don't
know
really
anything
know
about
much
Grendel's
about
mother?
She's
Angraboda.
attractive.
Go and give me a general religion check. You can roll it with wisdom if you want to hear like the general just kind of rumors and stories. Intelligence will give you kind of facts about what actually happened, or about the person, but wisdom kind of gives you that kind of street level.
Wisdom, it would be
Two.
13.
From what you heard about it,
Yeah, I don't
Grendel's
have a 15.
mother was hunted after Grendel. She took revenge on Hera, and then Beowulf went after her and supposedly killed her. She was never named. She was just a being
Shit.
renowned as Grendel's mother.
After handling Grendel, apparently Beowulf handled his mother, but I don't know who that was. Pretty sure Angerboda's all good and dandy out there somewhere.
Right, and I
was
guess
her, I
it
think
is
we
just
know.
the like line of Angraboda. Would
Let's
be-
just worry
Probably.
about the Grendel itself for now, and we can
That's fair. Never
worry
mind.
about whatever's going on with these fingers.
Can we
Yes,
just
before they left.
can we just attack Grendel like this? Spooky middle fingers. And then it will run away. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
I don't have fingers.
I might try it anyway. Hey, Grendel. See, yeah.
No, we have to go like this because then we don't have middle fingers.
Then it comes after us. But if we go like this, then it's.
I'm just
afraid.
going to shoot Grendel.
I'm gonna take the
Okay.
middle fingers and put them in its eyes.
What I
And then we'll
usually do.
see. Maybe I can set them on fire somehow.
Well, with any luck, Throod will catch up to us by the time we get to the Grendel. Or not, and we'll be on our own. But
True.
I'm assuming tomorrow, by
Or this
dawn,
evening.
we will be battling a Grendel. Well, we still have to travel the rest of the way. Even
Well,
after
it's
we
not
rest.
that far, is it?
Who knows?
It's dark. What if we like take a wrong turn or something?
Ugh.
I can see.
Okay, you'll go first. I can't see that well
I'll
enough.
be able to see as well.
Good.
So,
I'm just going to tell you now. I'm going to eat part of Grendel when we kill it.
I
The
I
butt?
wasn't even going to bother
No,
trying
no.
to unpack that.
I just because you ate you asked for the pig butt.
That's
I
a
don't-
pig, though. It's different. Like it, pig. You know, the pig butt isn't like the rear end. It's like
No,
the
I know,
upper
I
part
know.
of the back.
Do you think there's a part of Grendel that will be tasty, or are you just going to go for any part? It doesn't matter.
One way to find out.
Yeah.
I guess there's multiple ways to find out. Anyways, Joe, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, if you want to take the long rest, you can restore all of your hit points and anything you've expended.
Yes.
As
Right
you
on.
rest up. You don't necessarily need to sleep with the long rest, but it's very much just long downtime where you've closed your eyes. By the time you're up, you would hear the sounds of crickets and other swampland creatures that are just wandering in the thicket beside each of the streams. You see no light of the sun basking through as night has come. What would you like to do?
Due north, eh?
I don't
Pick up
suppose
my
there's
pillow.
anything else in this village worth finding.
I don't think it seems like they had much, really, right?
Yeah, I think we gathered as much as we will get.
Yeah.
Let's go north.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me all survival checks as you start wandering the northern path.
Oh, so bad. Another 5 on survival.
Nat 2022.
23.
Dirty 20.
I don't have.
Dude,
a
this is the
sense of
hottest I've ever
survival.
rolled.
Yeah, it's
D&D
insane.
forever. I'm never.
Mine are
It's,
either
it's
good
all
or
downhill from here,
terrible.
dude.
Lena, you are so focused on your feet getting stuck occasionally from like a puddle of mush on the ground.
I'm really traumatized by those giant bugs.
Yeah, the bugs. Every time now you hear it, zzz, eyes like shooting around. But the others, as you're walking along, you can smell the stench gets worse. And you notice one of the boggier streams is slightly reddened, but is slightly bubbling as well. Almost to suggest it's slightly acidic. It's kind of got this like tepid heat coming off of it, and it gets a little warmer. And you begin following that. It leads for a good hour and a bit. Before you get to a crossroads of splitting off into 4 different directions, where it seems to kind of spread out into those 4 different directions. A crossroad of 4 streams. One goes northwest, one goes kind of northwest, one north, and then one closer to west. Closer to east. Which one would you like to go down? I'll let you investigate them how you wish.
Hey Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Any animals around here that I can see?
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Perceive 20.
You would notice like a larger cricket, probably like the size of a rat, kind of in the bushes, slowly crawling up a tree. And your eyes with a 20, it looks the same color as the bark. And it moves so slow that it's trying to like blend in with any jutting bark on the tree. And it stops when you see it. And kind of just remains still. Looking like a giant piece of bark.
I'm gonna cast speak with animals. I'm gonna walk up.
Its wings go up slightly and goes,
Hey, calm down. I'm made out of wood. I'm not going to eat you.
yeah, I didn't know. I'm sorry if I'm climbing one of your brothers.
I don't care. Hey, have you seen a giant monster come through this way?
Yep.
Yeah, which way did he go?
Its arm just slowly points in the direction of... Nothing goes down there anymore. It eats it all.
Gotcha.
Please take it
Well,
with.
you keep on living your best life, little guy.
He just moves back slightly. So he goes, I don't think the others have seen me, Tree, so if you don't mind, I'll go back to blending in.
Yeah. You're that way, folks. He points the direction.
Thank you, kind sir.
Can you speak to trees, Willoughby? As I didn't know you could do that.
Something like that. Anyways,
That makes sense.
said that
Yeah,
way.
it makes sense.
You follow down this
Which
path.
way did he point?
It was the kind of straight northern one. You would
All right.
set off down the northern path.
As we go down this path, I'm going to mark it one of the trees or something. I'm
Okay.
gonna carve like an X
Okay.
or like an arrow. Hopefully, Troods not so dumb that they can't fucking interpret what that means
Okay.
in this case.
That seems so messed up. You just talked to another tree.
This one's an asshole, all right?
Fuck you.
You head down that direction after making the arrow. And you wander for a little longer. You see no streams come up this way. And there's something that you do notice. All of you. Something you need to perceive. It's something that starts to become uncomfortable. And that is the deafening silence of no life around. Before you hear... And just up ahead on the kind of the path that you're walking, up against a tree, slightly fused against the ground, missing an arm, missing both legs, but cauterized wounds from acidic nature. Half
Nope.
their face burnt with acid, hair missing. Resting with a spear that they're just kind of jabbing forward as their other eyes half closed. You see a human. Most of their armor is kind of almost tipsy-turvy on their body and it's kind of been shuffled to the side comfortably. And you see him just kind of almost just crying in a slight pain.
I'll rush forward and go
Rush.
down to him.
He hears you, and you see around him he's got climbing materials as well. A climbing pick, various kind of tools for like rope. Who's that? Who's that?
I'll cast Cure Wounds, first level.
Q wounds not up.
What?
Your Q wounds, sorry, not up some of the wounds. Don't
This
cure
is
the
the
missing
new
body
era.
part. The spirits kind of heal away any open wounds or any kind of infections that might be sitting in. His legs and his arm don't return. His burns on his face remain mostly the same as what of it's kind of caved in. This is a man.
What happened?
We tried to fight it. The Grendel. We left early. And they're dead. My companions are dead. The creature. Its bites burn. Its hands can tear through bone, as if paper. We found its cave. We went to the greatest source of stench. We had 6 people with us. We thought it would be enough. The Grendel. It got to us before we got to it. It never stops eating. Turn back. He kind of turns his head over towards you. You can see where your Q wounds is kind of healed up a bite wound. His eyes kind of like half open. Turn back. There is only death here. lives further along. And it cries. Every night it cries. It's how we hunted it. We followed the sounds of its crying. And it overwhelmed us. Please. Don't let it get the rest of me.
How did you get all the way out here?
We climbed the mountain.
How did you escape?
I left the others to die. And I tried to run during the chaos. I am a craven. And I heard it behind me. It was crying was it chased me. And when it caught up to me, I begged it not to kill me. And it attacked me. And all I thought of myself was how pathetic I was for leaving the others. And it just left me. I stopped fighting back and it left me. Left me to die out here alone.
Question. Do we see his middle fingers on the ground if his limbs are gone?
You would. One. He's got one arm still.
Okay.
One finger is left. Aye.
It stopped attacking you and it left.
It left. Wandered back to its cave. Gonna cost a little bit of blood.
Is your name?
Endrin. My name.
Did you have family inherit?
He looks to you. His breath catches in his throat. His head lolls forward as he finally passes from his wounds.
Well, I guess we should all start getting ready to feel really miserable. Because it seems like that's the best way to keep the Grendel from eating us.
Okay.
So really
Tell me I'm
channel
ugly.
your saddest memories.
Oh boy.
I've got plenty of them.
Think
I
about
don't
it
think
all
we
the
would be
time.
doing this if we didn't.
There's no change.
Well, who's ready to fight a Grendel?
As you say that,
Yay.
you
Keep
hear
Grendel.
in the distance. Echoing from a cave, and you hear the wailing cries of Grendel. And that's where we'll pick up next week on the border of the hunt.
I'm worried that one of us is going to die.
Well, good news is the one person who won't be eaten is me. I'll tell all of your stories.
Thanks, Wilby. I appreciate that.
I love playing characters that none of the enemies really want to kill because it just doesn't click.
It's not that they don't want to kill you. You just don't get close enough for them to do it anymore.
Yeah, I also don't have blood or meat to eat.
You're like, oh, I'm going to
don't
be
have
over
middle
here. Give myself
fingers
advantage to shoot at a distance. Pew, pew. Oh,
Look,
man.
dude, you
Juno.
chose a fucking melee warlock paladin. What do you want from me?
Joe, can we fight some like termite monsters?
I don't like
Oh
bugs.
yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, I like that.
Bugs.
I
We
don't like
almost
that
lost like Juno to a frog.
A toad.
How could anyone have known the frog would instantly eat Juno?
It rolled really well, by the way. It was a
She
3d6,
ran right
and I
up
rolled a
to
6, 6,
it.
and 5.
Which
So it
like
was
on
very
par.
well.
She was, but it's just the fact that the frog was like, "Oh, cool, you're here now."
Let's just not tell Mark that.
We shouldn't tell Mark about any of this
Not
session,
tell
to be
him.
honest.
went well.
The toad.
Yeah.
You did so
Oh
awesome.
my god, it was wild. Don't watch any of it. Just watch the Grendel part.
I found out you're the key to the Grendel fight. If you go first, everything's
Just be really happy.
She's doomed.
yeah.
She's the one that's actually happy.
She is actually. I
It's
know,
true.
right? Like, oh wait.
It's
Oh
true.
no, wait, she is fucked, huh?
yeah.
She's in danger. Let's go ahead and do some shout outs. Let's start off with our wonderful Mark, who is missing today. You can check out Mark Humes over on Sherlock Humes. Every Sunday, he runs a game called High Rollers. I believe it starts at 5 p.m. British time, so midday on the east coast of the USA. And it's awesome. It's late into the game, high-level antics. Come and watch him on Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons. Next up, OLG.
Hello, I'm OLG. IRL. I also hate bugs, so that's a fun fact for you. Don't really like bugs. I think they're pretty gross.
To be fair, they're more like they're mostly bats. That's got a big bug head.
That a giant bug head that with the fucking proboscis coming out like a mosquito. That shit's a bug. It just had bat wings.
Would you call a minotaur?
No, don't try to sugarcoat it now. I'm just like mostly bat. No, it's too late. It was fucking bugs. It's gross. Now I gotta fight a Grendel. It's got like 20 fucking hands. I also hate things with a lot of hands. Mistletoe's awesome.
Oh, I
It's a
know.
great campaign. Thank you for checking it out.
Tomato.
Hey. Don't add termites to the game, bud.
I actually really want to design a termite encounter now. I'm gonna make it like that scene from Ants.
Oh, fuck that.
Brizzy.
Hi, Brizzy Voices on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube, Instagram. Ta-da!
Lots of D&D as well on Brizzies. You do a
Yeah.
podcast every week, right?
Yeah. Cast party.
Bloody. Gabe.
I'm Gabe. I watch Tomato play Minecraft sometimes. It was fun. Like I like no joke. I was like, oh shit, no, this is okay. He's weird, but like
Yeah.
he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for playing. I'm Joe Fudge. You can watch me here on Sundays. I run another game called Goldforged. It starts at 8:30 p.m. BST if you're from Britain, or 3:30 p.m. if you're on the east coast of the USA. Where we left off last week, I won't spare any spoilers, but it's a real big episode coming out this week, so tune in for that.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah,
on.
very heavy. Other than that, there's a Patreon if you want to see all behind the scenes stuff. But otherwise, next week, you guys will be ready to fight a Grendel. I'm excited to show you the Alpha Grendel as well. It's pretty dope.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Dropping off some hands.
we'll see you all next week. Thanks everyone for coming out. We'll catch you next Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.